All right. Now it says we are live. But
It goes.
there we go. There we go. Now we're on the stream going live, and oh, we already got somebody in here. All right. You guys ready to get this going?
Yep, I'm ready. What's going on, everybody?
What's up, everyone? Tonight we get Rob's little baby challenge. I didn't mean to say little, but anyway, there's mine. All right, Rob, if you want to state anything going on with that, by all means. Yeah.
It's just a challenge I created for people to come together and have a good time, and thought I would share it with as many people as I could. So I think in total I sent it to like 20, 21 people or something like that, maybe 22. I'm not sure the exact count, but I've been kind of throwing around the idea for doing it for a while and finally got around to making it happen. And thought I'd share it around so people could have fun torturing themselves.
Mhm.
That's a good reason as any.
All right. You want to go over any of the rules, Rob, or anything?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Let's see.
I'll put this in the share this in the
I've
community
got
real quick.
I've got the rules somewhere. All right, and the rules are as follows: no drinking anything else during the challenge until after the time is up. Each level is a progressively hot piece of jerky handcrafted to set the mouth ablaze. And when you're ready to start, set your timer to 2.5 minutes to complete each level. And after you beat the last, set your timer to 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is up, you may eat or drink anything you want.
Hey,
And
Rob.
level,
Rob, they can't see anybody. Brando, they're saying the screen's black.
you need to click your one that has your logo on it. I was having that problem, and I had to click into your picture. I noticed that's you have it like on presentation mode for your other one.
There we go.
But yeah, and the levels that I have, there's 4 levels, and level 1 is La Cuesta from Grown at Home in West Virginia, and then level 2 is West Virginia Sunrise, also from him, and then Brando Spice from Brando Toe himself, and level 3 is Chocolate Caramel, which is another one of Dave's blends, and La Cuesta, and then my own Super Hot Mix. And the level 4 is Crimson Blaze, Chocolate Caramel, and my Super Hot Mix. That's the blends that were used in the creation of the levels.
All right. I don't know if they can see the screen now or not, but
It's still just stuck on the black screen. It shows our windows at the bottom, but it's the black screen.
I don't know why it's doing that, but this is what I was afraid of.
Click on like your picture and see if that does anything. You might have to just like click between pictures. I've seen people have to do that before.
Yeah.
So you're presenting to everyone because
Yeah,
there's still two of you in the windows on the panel. So you have your avatar, and then you have your name, which is representing you right now.
Hmm.
It's like dual windows.
Alright. Let's see if I can do it this way.
What's up, Everyday Canadian? What's up, Brian? What's up, Gage? What's up, Derek? What's up, Scott? Hey, Kelly.
I'm saying hello to everyone. Usually I have BD say that for me, but he's not here.
Charles says hello to everybody. What's up, Jacob?
So it's
Alright, guys. I don't know if y'all can hear me right now or not.
I think that the audio is fine.
yeah, the audio is fine. It's just that the screens for the panels are not.
It's not switching, but at least it's on you though. It is showing the video. That's what's showing.
Yeah, Kelly, I saw that you went live. I missed that. Sorry. You were just closing when I got to tune in. Kelly, I saw that you went live. I missed that.
Oop. Alright. I hope that didn't help
I
it.
check that out. I didn't ever get a notification of her, but I didn't hit the bell. I just did, so I'll get further notifications because I never saw that pop up. I've had a busy day today, though. I had a bunch of stuff that I should have taken care of yesterday that I never did. I had
Okay.
to catch up today doing all kinds of different things.
Alright.
And you can do the challenge whenever you're ready and go about it however you want. If you want during the challenge, I can keep time for you. I'll have to look. And I'm sure I have a timer on my phone. I don't know where to find that.
So who all on here is doing it?
I guess just you're doing it.
Oh, I thought we all were doing it.
No, we're just here for moral support.
Huh?
We're just here for moral support.
Oh. I see.
I just figured I would come and hang out and see what's going on. But you are the first to do it. I don't know that anybody else, unless Higurashi did it today, which I don't know. I know that he has his. He said he was going to do a video. He could have possibly done it, but I don't know that he has yet. So I think that you'll be the first official person, or not first official. You're the first person. I myself haven't, like I said, haven't even tried them yet, other than a small sliver of 2 of the levels just to see what it was about.
Well, yeah.
But I figured that it would help to have somebody there to help keep time and stuff was part of why I offered to hop on. Plus, I just wanted to come hang out. But I did. I found on my phone. I had to go into the clock, and I found where I've got a stopwatch setting, so I can do, or I can do a timer. That would probably be the best way to do it. It's got a timer setting and a stopwatch setting. So I'll do the timer setting, and it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds from when you start. You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm not. There's no rules on like how little or how long you have to chew it for. You can chew it for as long or as little as you want because it's jerky. And I figure that jerky is going to vary piece to piece. Some pieces may be chewier than others, so I didn't think it was fair to have a time for like how long you should chew it for. But from when you start, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to complete chewing that piece and sit for a minute, then move on to the next one. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds between each level to the last piece, and the last piece doesn't have to be timed until after you finish it. You can chew the last piece as little or as long as you want, and then after that, then the 5 minute timer gets set. Or, I mean, it could either be done that way or start a 5 minute timer as soon as you start chewing the last piece. It doesn't really matter either way. But 2.5 minutes for each level until you get to the last level, and then it's 5 minutes.
Alright, well, since I'm going to be the only one doing this. Yeah.
Just let me know whenever you're ready to start, and like I said, I can at least that way somebody's keeping time. I can keep time, and I'll start the timer as soon as you are ready to start, and then move on from there.
Here's the first one.
What again was the spices used on one?
Level 1 is La Cuesta, and that's the only blend that's on that one. La Cuesta is an awesome blend. It has some kick to it, but it's not too hot. The timer is going. You can put in any input or anything that you want. Describe whatever you want to describe about it as you go through it. There's a minute and 30 seconds left in the timer.
Right. That's the thing about That's the thing about that one. That jerky takes a little while to chew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that one requested. That seems more like a milder spice.
Yeah.
It's good but mild.
What's that?
It's very good though.
Yeah.
You got 40 seconds.
There's number 2.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to have to reset this. I'll have to wait and see. Or I guess I can hit reset as soon as it gets to the end. And then it should be able to go. There's 20 seconds left. Ten seconds. But that's fine. Okay. So you can go with the next one. And I'll hit start as soon as you start it.
What's in number 2?
Number 2 is uh, West Virginia Sunrise and Brando Spice.
Have you ever had that before, Brando?
No, I never heard of Brando spice before.
It's a cool blend.
Sounds like it should be pretty mild.
Yeah. I hear the guy that makes that stuff is afraid of spicy. I started the timer.
Maybe I should have broken that into a smaller piece before I shoved that piece in my mouth.
It makes for better television.
Yeah, just shove it all in your mouth.
I just kept them all as a solid piece so it would lay out flat and be easier to package that way.
Yeah.
Whereas if I put that trimmed into several pieces, it would have kind of wanted to clump up in spots. So I figured laying a flat piece out in each window was a better way. And I'm not against people wanting to cut it up or do whatever. You can do whatever, however you want, as long as you eat the piece.
All right.
You've got a minute and 25 seconds. So that's about right. It's about a minute to chew, and then you get like a minute and a half in between. But that's why I didn't want to do a time of you have to chew for so many seconds or so long because it's jerky and jerky can vary. There is a minute left now. How was that one?
Man, I don't know, man. That was crazy. Uh-oh. I think my stomach's going nuts over here. No, but that one was that one wasn't bad at all.
How was the
What?
How was the flavor?
The flavor on that one, comparatively, the flavor was the flavor wasn't bad on the first one, but the flavor was, I think, was slightly a little more improved with that piece of jerky. The burn's definitely different. The first one feels more like one you can get like a burn more similar to like a more of a habanero-ish kind of level. Well, at least it's roughly. It could be a little more depending on how much you use and what you use it on. But the other one's just in it. Plus, it's a different kind of burn.
Yeah, that was the timer. So whenever you're ready, go on to the next one. And the number 3. Let me Let me look just to make sure. The number 3 has chocolate caramel, La Cuesta, and super hot mix. Which the La Cuesta and chocolate caramel are from Dave, and the super hot mix is from me. I'm starting the time. The chocolate caramel is made from chocolate and caramel colored pods. And he doesn't disclose what's in there. It's just chocolate and caramel colored pods that it's made with. And you can definitely.
It's probably just a mix of different varieties of chocolate and caramel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was what he was saying. Is it's just a mix of chocolate and caramel colored varieties.
It's not a bad flavor. Probably, it's almost like I'm getting that Worcestershire sauce flavor in my mouth right here. Um, but that flavor, and the flavor I'm getting right now would be good on probably like a stew or something like that.
So far, how's the progression? How's the progression of spice level? I mean, is it like you could tell a major difference between the three?
Um, the first one, that one was felt more like habanero kind of burn. You know, it's almost feel like that. The basic habanero kind of feel where it almost feels like a little stingy.
Yeah.
The other one was more of like a smoother, rounded out burn.
Yeah.
And then this last one,
A little
it's
more
just
sharp.
more of a warmth heat in there rather than anything stingy.
Okay.
But like the one I just ate, that one would taste more like it'd be good on something you cook that could be like almost like a soup or something like that, or a stew or something, you know, or maybe in a broth or something like that. Who knows? Maybe even on some noodles. But
That was the timer. So you're ready to start that whenever you're ready. You can take a second if you want. I thought about doing 3 minutes between windows, but I didn't want to have too much time of just sitting there waiting to do the next one. So that was why I
yeah,
wanted
then
to.
I think that probably depend on how you're doing it. If you have like several people doing it, then you might want to do the timer a little longer, given maybe, but because not everybody chews
Yeah.
at a certain pace. All right, here's the fourth one.
And that fourth one has the Crimson Blaze, chocolate caramel, and super hot mix. And you should get a different flavor from that one due to the Crimson Blaze in there. It's got more of
Yeah,
a rich scorpion.
I'm more getting that different flavor like you're mentioning.
Yeah. You can taste kind of like a scorpionish essence to the Crimson Blaze, I've always thought.
Now that's one thing I don't like about jerky is those little strands get caught in my teeth. Oh well. Ah, dang, I need a toothpick.
How's the flavor on that one?
Ah. But yeah. All right, 1 second. Um. got pretty good flavor. The heat I can feel a little more on my tongue evenly now, just mostly on my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Feels like initially it'll start climbing a little bit after eating it, but then in regards to the flavor, I can see that one being definitely be added to like a nice barbecue sandwich or something like that. Um,
I didn't set the timer right for that one, but I set it right after you finished chewing, and I set it for 5 minutes. But when it gets to like 30 seconds left, that'll be the ending. So you've got like 4 minutes,
okay.
and you see like how progresses or builds or what you feel.
Yeah, I can feel with the heat on this one after it's spreading more. A lot of times after it settles in, it kind of goes out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling like kind of like right inside
Mm.
the inside the cheeks a little bit, and kind of like right around my gums. For me, this isn't a bad one. I mean, I can see actually having that kind of added on to something I'm eating or whatever. Uh, Now, if they had that available at let's say some kind of little sandwich shop, maybe then that would be awesome because most places that they call hot sauce aren't really hot sauces or something or hot flavorings or anything.
Yeah.
They'll sit there and say it's hot, and then when you try it, it's like really. Uh,
So it's an overall comfortable, manageable eat.
yeah, in my eyes, it's something can be pretty manageable. It's not something that's going to be going off on a big old theatrics like if you're going to a Guar concert or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, what kind of straw is that?
It's a purple one. It matches my
Oh,
blackberry ginger ale.
okay.
I've got a nice blue and white striped one over here. It's mostly white, but
Oh,
it's got some
nice.
stripes.
I see you got the little crinkly end one right there where you can actually bend it.
Oh yeah, I got bendy straw. I'm being fancy tonight.
Yeah.
Uh, JDS wants to know on a scale 1 to 5, what would you rate them as heat levels?
I think it should be on a scale of 1 to 10, and I think Brando should maybe say what he thinks on his scale and what he would think somebody on an average heat scale would think. What's your opinions on that, Brando?
In regards to heat, the first one I'd say could probably be considered by some to be right around habanero-ish, maybe, or milder medium. And then, and then, I don't know. I wouldn't. Me on rating stuff number wise, I don't really do that a whole lot. But and then second and third progressively get a little more, and then the last one's definitely on the hotter end of the bunch there. Um, for I don't know. I mean, because the reason why I say I don't know is because my version of something hot would be like different than for somebody else's version of it. I mean, comparatively.
Yeah.
I mean, my one sister said she used to like spicy a lot, and she used to make Mexican dishes and that. But then, when she'd try to say she likes spicy, then she'd try something I make spicy, then she'd be like, whoa, 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 that's like beyond crazy. But yeah, so um, Wait, okay, let's see.
Now the time just finished.
What's that?
I said the 5 minutes just finished.
All right. Well, I would say on the hottest one, for a lot of some people, that could probably be considered maybe like a 7 or something like that or so. But if you're, I mean, that depends on if you're like a chili head or something. But if you're not so much of a chili head, then it would probably be a higher on the scale. Um, then as you're going down, it kind of whittles its way down a little bit on the number scale. I mean, from 4 to 1. Let's say 4 being the hotter jerky, then going on down.
In
Then
your opinion,
what was that?
in your opinion, how does it compare? In your compare to the death nuts overall and everything, because you've eaten the death nuts.
Yeah, I think with that, I think that's a little different because I don't think just straight powder was used in those. I mean, what? I mean, but yeah, those are a little something different. Plus, you can tell how much spices and other things that they put on there comparatively on like a little peanut versus a piece of jerky. You know, like say if you were to coat that jerky comparatively like those peanuts, then you know just a couple pieces of jerky would be pretty blazing.
Yeah,
But um, I don't know. I mean, that's just something different. Plus, it's not that much. It's like you're almost eating straight spice when you're eating those peanuts, and you can tell they're trying to do a little more with it, with trying to make how hot they were. But I would say flavor-wise, though, the jerky would be better to eat versus those nuts, those peanuts.
awesome.
So, like, say, if you wanted to go with like a regular challenge thing, now those would be. I mean, no, you can experiment around with that. But if you want to go for different types of challenges, you could always go with like, you know, you know, the the mega challenge ones where it's just like some really hot pieces of jerky, or you know, different types of challenges. Like this one would be one challenge. The like say if you want to go for the mega scorching one, then go and make that a separate challenge
And
or whatever it is.
that's kind of where I was going with it. Is I was just doing this as like an introductory thing for people to try it, and then if people were interested in moving forward in it as far as doing something different, I can always do something different. And I only coated one side of it this time, and didn't go too heavy on anything. But I could always, I mean, step it up another level. That that would be hard to do. I don't.
Yeah, maybe that's something you could work towards. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, how you want to do it. I'll say it doesn't hurt to experiment around. That way you can know where you are going and what path you're going to want to take with it. I mean,
Yeah, and it's never going to be for any sort of profit. It's just something that I'm going to do to just share spicy love amongst, you know,
yeah, you could also even try as a suggestion, maybe even try experimenting with different types of jerkies to make. You know, instead of just the one type of meat to use.
yeah.
I mean, just some of the food for thought. I mean, doesn't. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do or anything. I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean, and I already know that if I could probably even do like a one piece challenge and do it with rather than doing it with sliced meat, do it like how ground meat jerky is made, like kind of like
Yeah,
the where you get like the big long strips where it like comes out of like the jerky gun. I could do it that
yeah.
way, and if I did it like that, I could easily blend in even minced up fresh peppers, powders. I mean, that opens a whole new world of
Actually, that
fun.
wouldn't be a bad idea. if you think you could experiment with somebody like that, then that'd be something interesting to try.
Yeah, I could even add bacon to it, like do all
Yeah,
kinds of different things, like both the flavors and, like I said, add fresh peppers as well as powders and things. I mean, that's a very easy to play around with.
yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, if you do decide to do that, I ought to be on board to try some of those.
You'll definitely be counted in if I do. I need to get one of those jerky guns, and my friend has a grinder, and so we can even do like mix meats and mixing peppers with the meat, like as it's being ground through the grinder,
Okay.
and do it that way. So I could kind of mix everything all together and grind it up so it mixes together, and then put the jerky on to do it that way. So that's definitely a good idea. Thank you for your input on that because I wouldn't have really thought about it that way. That's a pretty cool, like, different angle to look at it. And thank you for being a part of it, trying it, giving your opinion.
Oh, thank you for sending it. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I mean, that made me happy. Just like your one comment of saying like how in comparison to the death nuts, how the death nuts aren't. I agree, they aren't so much enjoyable to do, and that was what I was like aiming for with this was something that could be hot but tasty, something that people could
Yeah,
like eat, and not be like, oh man, I have to eat another one of these. Like I wanted it to be something that's like good but gets hotter as it goes.
yeah. See, I mean, what I was trying to basically get at is like when you eat those death nut things, is there a cool, interesting thing, but the spice to the substance ratio is that as you go along, it's like you just get a mouthful of mushy spice with a little bit of peanut in there, and then it's just like you may as well just take like a spoonful of hot spice almost and just throw it in your mouth rather than eating the peanuts.
Well, I mean, that's what got me too, because I know I've like it sounds like a broken record with number three, but that's what gets you is because all that stuff is just like you're doing a teaspoonful, and it sticks to the back of your throat, and your throat and how like everything cuts off. Sometimes when you take spices, it just feels like you can't hardly breathe or anything because you got that whole buildup of spice in the back of
Yeah,
your throat, and that's
yeah,
that's
it gets
what
right in your airway too.
so that's what kind of messes you up, because I mean, like I said, there's no way for those that you could do them for, I mean, a real chew for 30 seconds and without it just being just garbage.
Yeah, it's like 10 seconds in and they're dissolved. Like I'm ready to swallow it like 10 seconds when I did those.
Yeah, see, I mean, as you guys know, since you guys have tried them, it's just like, you know, it gets so much of that coating on there as you're progressing. It's just like it's literally more spice than it is the peanut, and then it's just like as you guys were also mentioning is that as you're going along chewing it, it just turns into a spicy paste. Really, it's just like just a spice paste, and it's just like as you go along, it gets all that spice, gets all the little crevices everywhere, and just hides in the little parts inside the throat and mouth. And no matter what you do, it's going to sit there. And I mean, the only way to get it out is if you're, just guzzling down some juices or whatever it is you're drinking, just to wash it out. And yet, at that time, it doesn't even always work. So, but I don't know. I mean, I see the idea where they're going with that stuff, but I mean, it just I don't know. And plus the price is a little steep on those though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just like the other challenge that I have. I mean, everybody's not going to pay $45 to get a piece of sausage shipped.
Yeah.
For the Valhalla.
Okay.
I'm not gonna actually do it because I can't eat a pound of sausage. I just can't do it. I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try it. Like I said, I talked to Joey, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna enjoy it in pieces and just cut it up and eat it in certain meals or whatever. Because there's no way I could do it. Like just go grill it, bring it in, and eat that whole link. So.
And my suggestion to Charles was he should make like a pot of like gumbo or something with it. Because it's one of those big long links where you could like take it and cut it in slices and make like a pot of gumbo or something with it. I think that would be an excellent idea. It would make some really killer spicy gumbo. Get like some chicken and some shrimp and add that in there. And maybe you can get like the bag of like mixed veggies or whatever, or get fresh stuff, put okra or whatever you want in there, and just make a big pot of gumbo. I mean, heck, if you made it like that, you could always take some of the gumbo and like put it in bags or containers and freeze it and thaw it out and heat it up for other meals later. And have
Right.
some like spicy gumbo. I bet that's what I would do if I had one of those sausages. I think that my first thing I would do with that would be make a big pot of delicious gumbo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, initially with some of the stuff that they do with all those extreme things, this is like the prices they go about with a lot of them is just a bit excessive. I mean, if you're going to have to pay a certain price for it, then you're going to have to pay a certain price for shipping on top of that.
Well, that's what the
not
shipping.
Yeah, that's not exactly the most encouraging thing, you know? It's just like, I'd be interested, but I'm not interested in emptying a good chunk of money like that just for what you get for it.
Right.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't do at least something like that at least once or twice or something just to try it out.
Yeah.
What's up, Rev? I just saw Rev was in there. Old Rev Tokes.
Yeah, but one thing that was a plus side, which I should have done when I was at the Hot Sauce Expo, I did briefly talk to Ed Curry. Um, he had his stand there. I could have just bought like some of the death packages of Death Nuts right there just for the $15 flat, you know. But I was like maybe I should, but I was like, nah, maybe I shouldn't, because I would have probably bought a few of them but I was kind of half tempted to go on stage with that Reaper eating contest, but I was like, I was like, there's so many things I was going to do, but I was just kind of torn because there was like I was just going everywhere with stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people there. I mean, there was Sasquatch and a bunch of other people doing that Reaper challenge.
And if you do that Reaper challenge, you're not going to do anything else after that except like take care of yourself. Because
I know. I mean, I was when I briefly talked to Johnny Scoville, I talked to him just before he was doing it, and just a little while after, and yeah, all the guys that were doing the challenge were all backstage, just like so some of them were throwing up, and some of them were going about the whole thing. They're all just snotting and snorting everywhere because of all the reapers and all that they. But there was one guy that just about beat the challenge, but the people that did the way they did the Reaper challenge, they put them on some paper plates on the table in Chicago of all places, and guess what happened?
the wind.
The wind was like whoop, and it was just like just cleared the table, and all those peppers just blew all over the ground.
So is there a lot of is there a lot of wind in Chicago?
It's like there's times where well, they do call it the windy season for city for a reason, but it's just yeah, I know, but yeah, it was just like it was fine. That's the thing about Chicago. I was staying in Chicago for a while. It'd be fine for a little bit. The next thing you know, whoosh,
Yeah.
whoosh. It's just wind and just hitting you from out of nowhere. It's just like, oh snap.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Wind and then all of like 50-mile-an-hour wind because some family, or actually, I think they moved to somewhere else. But so I've spent like a good bit of time over the years, like up in and around Chicago, and yeah, it's crazy. Like it can be a not windy day, like you were saying, it can just be dead calm, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some like crazy wind gusts will come through.
Yep.
And it happens with no warning.
Yeah, that happened a lot when I was up there a couple years ago. You know, you're over there by the bean or by the park, or whatever else, and it just
Yeah,
knocks you.
I'll admit that there's a lot I really like about the city, but I mean, being as about anywhere, it does have its downfalls. But there's been plenty of times where I was walking from here to there, go walk around about the corner of a building. Next thing I know, it's just like it's like I'm in a wind tunnel. It's like, oh snap! I just walked around the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a decent place to go at times. But like I said, in most any major cities got their own downfalls to it as well.
Right.
But so yeah,
What's going on, Gary? I think it's the layout of things I mean, I know that it has to do with the geographical layout of things, that certain places like Chicago get so much wind. There's a park that's over across town from where I live at, and just due to the way that the hills around it work and everything, it can be a completely dead calm day. I mean, no wind at all. And you go to this one particular park and it's like just wind funneling through. I've always just referred to it as the wind factory because it's across from this like landmark in Franklin that it was an old factory, and it's just called the factory. And it's like they remodeled out the like inside of this old factory and made it like a little kind of like a mall type setup. They do a farmers market in one of the parking lots in the back every weekend and stuff. But it's just called the factory. And then there's this park right across the road, and that park, I go fish over there. There's both river access and a like public fishing, like little small lake or large pond out there. And it doesn't matter what day you go out there, even like I said, dead calm days where there's no wind and you go out there, the wind is just ripping through. It's insane. It's like the best place if you were to like try and find somewhere to go fly a kite or something. Because even on a not windy day, it's like windy enough to do anything that you want to do that has wind. But yeah, it's weird how that works. It's like certain little areas due to the wind.
And depending on the region and area you're at, there's like always some areas that seem to just channel the wind a certain way, like you were saying.
Yeah, it has to do with the hills and stuff because it's kind of like in a valley that's surrounded by hills, but it has something to do with like the certain placement of the hills because other areas of the valley that I live in will be pretty calm, but that one particular spot is just always windy, no matter what the day.
Yeah. Gotta put this guy to the side. I'm gonna save that one. Yeah. Oh, hey, Charles, this is another one of those habaneros. It's still kind of green, but
Yeah, I like the shape of that one.
yeah, it's got a lot. Some of them got similar shapes sometimes, but it's just they get a really good size. I'm not. I'll admit they're not the hottest of the habaneros, but they got some. They're pretty decent.
Let's see.
Those are the funkiest looking habaneros I've ever seen.
I mean, I like them because, like you said, the size. I mean, because if you like that level of heat, it goes a long way on foods or whatever you're using it for.
Yeah.
A limited amount of pods, and you can cover a lot. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and plus side is like these plants aren't the tallest plants. They're probably right. could be around 30 inches tall, but they're just bushed out. They're almost 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
Nice structure on them too. But I don't
Those
know.
habaneros that I got from you, Brando, the ones that were from that pod that had the kind of the scorpion-looking tail to it. I've got
Yeah,
several plants of those. I haven't seen any shapes quite like that. It has kind of put out some different interesting shapes, but nothing really like too noteworthy. But those plants
yeah,
are just growing like crazy and producing awesome. At my garden that has the biggest, bushiest plants, like you said, they aren't real tall, but they're just in size, like bush-wise. They're just huge, massive bushes and load up with pods. And the pods are fairly decent size on them as well.
yeah. And that's the plus side about the habanero types is they're super productive too.
Yeah. I've got those, and then I've got also some habaneros that I had gotten from pods that were store-bought pods that Kyle Waller had sent me. And those two habaneros are both very, very productive and very, very good sized pods on most of the plants. I do have two or three plants that kind of stayed stunted and
Yeah,
tend to produce a little bit smaller pods, but I think I showed Charles and some other people. I had some habaneros that I picked, I swear, that were like this big. I mean, like monster, like 4 inches long by like 3 inches wide. They were like getting close to like bell pepper size habaneros. It was insane. I've never seen habaneros that big ever. I think those were off the ones that I got seeds from Kyle from, but that those plants are they're making monster pods, and they're just basic orange habaneros. I've tried them. There's nothing different or special or vegetable. Or both genetics are growing out like big monster pods.
yeah. That's what is cool about some of these varieties of different the types that are popping up nowadays. But you just get so much variation and some cool, interesting stuff going on. I mean, there was a lot more option there was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. But I mean, the industry has changed as well because, hot sauce is like the number one condiment now. It's like $1 billion industry.
Yeah, yeah, definitely comparatively also as well to what it used to be. I mean, like I can
You,
remember when I was younger. Well, not too many things were really available. What like Tabasco or Louisiana hot sauce or maybe Frank's
yeah,
or just a few other things. It's just there was like some other things, but not much to be. Or even that Al Yucatan or whatever, maybe. You know, I mean, whatever that one was called, I don't remember the exact pronunciation, but
El Yucateco.
yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I completely agree. That's what I was going to say. It's back like 10 or so years ago. It was like, oh man, you eat habanero peppers? Like, habanero peppers are scary. And then, like, all of a sudden, ghost peppers showed up. And then it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And it gained so much popularity, I think, around the time that ghost peppers came in, that everybody wanted to
Yeah,
be like, oh, this has ghost pepper, that has ghost pepper. And then it kind of put the spotlight on the chili scene, and everybody, there's always been those underground people that have been into it, but it became more of a globalized, marketable thing that everybody wanted to have a piece of. And I mean, nowadays you go to the supermarket and you can find freaking Carolina Reaper cheese puffs and like all kinds of different things where they're just trying to grab that name and lure you in
yeah. I mean,
profit.
it's cool to see that trying to branch out and experiment, but a lot of them are trying to play it a little too safe. I think.
Yeah,
In regards to that, some of them want to, just basically use the name more so than try
exactly.
to. and then try to you know, put out the heat in there because I guess they're probably too worried that somebody may say, "Oh, it's extremely spicy." And be like, "Well, it says it's extremely spicy for a reason. I mean, use your judgment correctly, please," is what they should say. So, I
That's
mean, because
why that's why things like those Packy ghost pepper chip popular that they are, because
yeah,
most people that are in that like realm of thinking they like spicy but they don't handle heat well, they think, oh, I'm going to try these ghost pepper chips, and they're like, these are freaking hot. But to somebody that actually likes spice, those ghost pepper chips are like mild heat, but it's there. You can at least acknowledge that it's there. But that's why they go for things that, like Doritos Blaze, for instance. I'm sure Doritos Blaze is way, by far outselling the Packy Ghost Pepper chips. Do I think they're better? Not at all. But to a lot of the people out there that want to be a part of that spicy craze, something like Doritos Blaze is like, oh man, I'm eating Doritos Blaze. These things are so spicy. But they're not. It's just like you said, it's a whole marketing thing. And it's just
yeah,
looking at it from a business standpoint of we can put this name on something and we can sell it.
Right. Well, I mean, they have a bunch of different things, but Pocky, that was really the trendsetter for a lot of the spicy foods because when they did the one chip challenge a couple years ago, that one chip challenge kind of set everything off. So
Yeah.
that's when everybody started to, I think, of course, being a challenge themselves and see how far they wanted to go. And I think that's helped out a lot. And like I said, Pocky is one of the few companies that puts out a food product that it's actually spicy, and you can actually taste the ghost pepper flavor in the chip, as opposed to other manufacturers. There's just not as spicy or taste anything like the ghost pepper.
yeah.
Because I
I
mean,
mean,
the Blaze, I no, that is a horrible chip. That was a marketing ploy for the Super Bowl or whatever, and it's just not that great. I mean, Doritos, as far as Doritos go, the best one me overall is the Tapatio. So if you ever look for if you just want a good overall like average hot sauce style chip, that Tapatio Dorito is by far the best tasting. I eat bags
yeah,
and bags.
there's. I agree that there's a lot of some of the Doritos have some nice flavored stuff. Like for example, like the wasabi Doritos. I don't care for wasabi too much,
Mhm.
but the wasabi Doritos aren't half bad if you like wasabi flavor. Don't expect to actually wasabi ness to it. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
I mean,
gonna.
you basically get a horseradish, but horseradish has a different burn than a pepper.
Yeah, it's more of a nasal thing.
Yeah.
My buddy that supplied the jerky and everything that was kind of in collaboration with me for doing the Bambi challenge, and he's subscribed to you also, Brando. I like made him like not anything to do with the challenge, but back a long time ago, I was like, you ought to like follow Brando, and so you've got like him as a subscriber, Catman Outdoors, but he enjoys watching your pepper reviews and stuff. I don't know if he ever comments on anything, but he like
Hey, you said Pac-Man outdoors?
Catman
Oh, I thought you said Pac-Man.
Outdoors.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Pac-Man. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Pac Man's
No,
chicken.
but he just sent me,
And
and this Nashville out fishing tonight because if I wanted to, I was like, oh,
Oh, I
I've
was
got
about to
stuff
say
going on,
they
but
clear
that's
that image
like
up.
part of the yeah, no, that's part of the skyline in downtown Nashville, and that's a big flathead he just caught. He just sent that picture to me just now, but that's the one who's the hunter who supplied the deer for the jerky and everything. Who I was working with on that, and it looks like it's probably a good 30 or so pound flathead. That's a,
Okay. Yeah, so the catfish can get pretty big.
yeah.
But um Let's see here.
He said it was only 20 pounds. I guess it's just the way he was holding it in the picture because they're flatheads and they're called flatheads for a reason. They've got that big, broad head. But he said that was his own so far, and he caught it on a cut chunk of a bluegill.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then I don't know if catfish are interesting, but I know one thing is there's a lot of people that say they don't like catfish.
Like, don't like them as a fish or don't like to eat them?
Both. So a lot of people don't like to eat them because they consider them bottom feeders and they think all they eat is garbage. But they think, and there's a lot of people that think they don't taste good either.
I know a lot about catfish, and I for one think that they taste delicious. And anybody that thinks that they don't taste delicious, they should just give me all their catfish so I can eat them. And
Well,
all I gotta
that's
say,
gonna be,
but there is a certain ranking as far as catfish go, and surprisingly enough, one of the tastiest one of the species of catfish is more predominantly a bottom feeder, and that's a blue cat. And blue cats are whiter meat and have a less. It's more of a clean flavor to blue cat. It's whiter meat and it's way better. Channel catfish are in between scavenger. They will ambush things, but they also scavenge. And then there's flatheads, and flatheads are mostly predatory. And that's why the flatheads have such a big mouth and they have big whiskers. They shout things, and I've caught tons of flatheads over the years on artificial lures like crankbaits and different things. You'll never catch a blue cat that way because blue catfish, as I said before, are mostly scavengers. Those are like the bottom feeders of the bottom feeders as far as catfish go. I'm not saying a flathead won't eat a cut piece of fish or something. Like he just said he caught that on a cut piece of fish. But flathead are more predatory than any of the other species of catfish. The only other catfish species that I know of out of the ones that people really know of, which there's tons of species of catfish, the ones here, flathead, are the most predatory. But the only other one that I can think of that a lot of people know about that is a good comparison is the Wells catfish over in like Europe and stuff. And the Wells catfish are mostly predatory. They've also got a very large mouth, similar to how the flatheads are. They grow to a very big size, and they'll eat anything that's moving, and they go after live stuff. So,
I mean, I agree with Rev. I mean, in saltwater, flounders are bottom feeders, and flounders are awesome. If anybody wants to donate their flounder, I'll take their flounder. As far as like,
yeah,
Rev was saying about catfish like eating goldfish. Now, goldfish are part of the carp family, and carp family are totally nasty. Talking about a nasty fish, I mean, just look at a goldfish. If you don't clean its bowl or whatever else, I mean, they go through so much waste. Same thing with carp. Carp are the same damn way. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think people that have had problems with the way the catfish they would probably prepare taste, I think that's probably because it all went into preparation.
yeah.
I mean, because that's one of those types of that either it can come out either good or bad depending on how it's prepared. Because
And
I've seen some,
the same goes for deer and stuff too.
yeah,
If a deer addressed the right way, care of, it can have a lot of and any wild game for that matter can have a gamey taste and be not so good if it isn't
clean properly.
processed
Right.
in the correct
Don't
manner.
don't cut the bladder when you're trying to process it.
Yeah.
Because that's bad.
And don't fillet your catfish. I see a lot of people that'll just take a catfish and slap it on a board and start filleting it and cut into the belly as they're filleting, and that's you don't do it that way. Anybody that knows what they're doing would not do it that way, and that can, in fact, like make the flavor different and give you that bad experience. But anybody that knows what they're doing can make it to where it comes out awesome.
Yeah, catfish can come out pretty good if it's breaded and fried right.
That's what I was going to say. Breaded and fried, and maybe like a little bit of lemon juice squeezed on it. Tartar sauce if you like it on the side or whatever. I've even done like spicy.
Maybe a little spice on there. So.
Yeah, I've made spicy catfish like how Nashville style hot chicken is done, where they like fry it and then brush it with hot chili oil. I've done that with catfish before and taken it straight out of the fryer, and before it cools, take it and brush it with some hot chili oil. That's amazing.
Yeah, I like blackened catfish too. Blackened's good too.
Blackened any fish is amazing. Blackened walleye and blackened smallmouth are two of the best things I've ever had in my life.
Man, I don't know. I just say in general you can't really go wrong with fish if it's done right. I mean, every fish has its own way of coming out pretty well, but it just depends on how it's done.
Yeah, just make sure that you don't overcook a Chilean sea bass. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Because I've done that before. Huh?
Not many people like dried out fish. So.
No, yeah, especially when you're paying $25 a steak. So.
Yeah. One thing that's a little different is swordfish.
Yeah. Shark.
Yeah. Swordfish is a little different. I mean, I had some that was butterflied like a pork chop, and it was just like it had almost similar consistency like a pork chop, but kind of fishy. You know?
I'll be back in just a moment.
So how are your plants doing, Charles?
A lot of them got crushed from the storm the other day. Well,
No.
they're all right. They'll pop back, but the shade cloth extension fell down on them. So
Oh no.
yeah, so they'll come back, I think. But other than that, still fighting birds and other things. I mean, I've done everything with the birds, but they're determined. Like I said, my neighbor feeds them, so it's going to be kind of hard to get away from the birds. So we'll see. Hopefully, they won't damage too many of them, but they do damage quite a few.
Yeah. I'm glad so far the birds haven't really been so much of a problem with me, but I mean, I do get quite a birds visiting my garden trying to poke up some herb worms around. But,
Yeah, the netting kind of fell on my extension. I had a shade cloth coming from my main structure to my fence just to give more shade to the back plants because they kind of got blasted. But there's a lot of downbursts and a lot of storms the past few days, so it kind of pushed them all down and stuff and compacted the plants and bent a lot of the branches and not really necessarily broke them, but it just bent them. But so they're still kind of messed up. So as far as the aphids, don't see too many aphids. Only on maybe one or two plants, but they kind of go away with the good bugs. I have seen a couple stink bugs. That concerns me because that was a losing battle for me last year, which was stink bugs because they mess up so many pods. So, and there's, once they get out of hand, it's very hard to overcome them messing up your whole garden.
yeah, stink bugs can produce very quickly.
Yeah. other than that, just waiting for more pod set to set because we're still dealing with hot temperatures, so we're still always in the mid 90s, upper 90s, with the humidity 70 something to 80 something percent. It always feels like 108 to 110. So the plants don't take to that well. So once it cools,
Yeah, they
once
do
it
get a
cools,
bit stressed.
yeah,
Oh,
they just don't like to keep the flowers, so they have a lot of drop. So they'll I think it'll change in about a month or so once it cools down a little bit, maybe towards the end of September.
yeah,
We'll see. But I mean, I do have quite a few pods. It just I don't have a large number, even like last year, especially like a lot of my super hots. I don't have a lot. So it is what it is. I'm pretty sure the time will come. I mean, my season goes till almost late November, so I have still quite a few months.
yeah. Where you live, you'd have more of an extended season comparatively. Um,
Yeah, I mean, my thing is just I dealing with storms in the next month or so because this is the busiest season for hurricanes and stuff. So just like last
yeah,
year, we had to deal with that. So usually August, September is our busiest or hectic time around this area. But I'm hoping for the best. I don't want no more floods or nothing like last year and the year before. So, but everybody deals with something. So if it's not one thing, it's another.
yeah. Yeah, you're right on that one.
We'll see how it turns out within the next few months. But I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty good. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, there's a few things here and there with some bugs and deal with some of my pods. Some would be like a couple of some pods here or there where bugs chewed a hole in. But
Yeah, I have quite a few of those too. I mean, most of those are caterpillars, so I'm trying to control those. Because the caterpillars
yeah,
out, I mean, I've lost a lot of the plant due to hornworms. I've seen more hornworms this year than I did last year. You know, by a mile. So there's been quite a few hornworms.
Yeah, I've had a lot of hornworms myself.
Yeah, I mean,
It was kind of a wave, but they came strong and heavy. Like I pulled must have been over a dozen off my plants, and it was mostly my front garden that got affected by it. They really did some damage at times, and I had only one hornworm on a plant up the street in another garden, and it ate the entire canopy on Brazilian starfish. Hang on one second.
yeah, yeah. I do know. I went to get into a pod not too long ago, and next thing I know, I seen a little bit of caterpillar in it. I was like, "You little bastard!" That was annoying. Sorry for the vulgar language, but
yeah, because like I said, they've been pretty bad this year. Like I said, I used the BT concentrate, and that seemed to help. Just doing just one or two sprayings, that's helped a lot. Because the caterpillars, that's one thing that'll knock the caterpillars down is that BT. So that just helps out a lot if you have a caterpillar issue.
yeah,
Sorry, but yeah, I had a Brazilian starfish that got completely chewed down the entire canopy and everything on the plant except for a few of the leaves. But it actually did the plant good because it had been one that I had to top early because it kind of started to die off, and then the tops of the new growth had started to die off, and I had to top it again to just so it would promote good, healthy growth. And it grew these two big stalks and made a nice canopy, but it still was kind of stringy. And then the hornworm topped it. I mean, when I say top it, it like ate through the stems in the plant, like all the newer stems down to like, it looked like a deer had eaten the plant. But then I found the hornworm on there, and it was a huge 4-inch long. And ever since then, that plant has bushed back out, come back out really nice. But they're not fun to deal with. I don't promote having hornworms, but sometimes they can do a plant some good.
All right, Scott. Check you later.
Hey, later, Scott.
Later, Scott. Now,
Yeah, I'm not too far out either, because I got to get up at work tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah.
I got stuff I gotta do tomorrow as well.
Yeah. I got nothing to do tomorrow ever. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. No, I got stuff to do, but I'll probably be up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning like usual before my alarm clock goes off. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, hey guys, check this one out.
What is that?
This one's actually one of my strains that actually came up odd this year. It was a pod that was normally supposed to be a bit larger and thicker walled, but a lot of them came out like this year. And it's rather odd because it's more on the annuum side, but the heat level is more heat level of flavor is more comparable to something that's much hotter.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not like Serrano, it's not like Bird's Eye or something like that. It almost like it reminds me of a flavor of like something more on the higher end of the heat scale. Some of them would like have like look like they would have a slight wrinkle to it, but
That sounds pretty interesting.
yeah, it's weird. But I mean, it's weird to me because it's just like I know it wasn't the original strain wasn't supposed to be like this, but I think it's probably a Mother Nature assisted happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Very productive plant though. I've only got one of them going. I probably might show the plant maybe tomorrow or something.
Yeah,
Maybe do a video of it.
that's cool.
I mean, of a pod. But yeah, I'll show it inside of this one real quick. I don't know if it'll come up on camera that well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of real fruity, juicy type of one, but nice flavor. But, yeah. I think the burn on it's like probably a little more than habanero, but I don't know. Hmm. You looking a little tired, Charles.
Yeah, I am. So, like I said, I'm fixing a bill. But I do
All right.
appreciate you having me on, and enjoyed watching to see what is to come for other people to do the challenge. So we shall see how everybody fares on that.
Yeah, I think
I know you're
it'll
on.
depend on the person, but
Yeah, I was gonna say I know your opinion on heat is a little bit skewed as to the average person out there, but you still you gave about it and did acknowledge that it has some heat, so I feel like I did something right.
yeah, number 4 was definitely the hottest of them, but 1, 2, and 3, they all had their own types of burns. I kind of like, and their flavors varied a little bit, but um, yeah, they all kind of burned in their own way. Like the first one with the Laquesta or whatever, it kind of felt like it kind of had like almost a habanero-ish kind of a tingly burn. Next one up was like more just a overall mouth in a way. Third one was just more general warmth, and then the last one was where you could actually feel more of the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
mean, it's pretty good though. Good job there, Rob.
yeah.
Thanks.
Good job. Thanks for setting all this stuff up. I know you put a lot of work into it.
Yeah,
It
thanks
was,
for sending it.
it was
Appreciate it.
definitely a lot of work orchestrating all that, and thank you, BD Beats, for helping with the flyer and everything to post in the PLC. BD Beats does such awesome work, and he was able to work with me on that and kind of follow my idea for what I wanted to do and make a awesome flyer for it. And that was really nice of him to help out as well. And, but it was a lot of work just making it and separating it and bagging it and addressing all the envelopes was probably my least favorite part. I think every
Yeah.
part of the challenge so far I've enjoyed, except for sending it to 20 some odd people and addressing all those envelopes. That's
Yeah, that's the most time consuming part is the doing the whole envelopes thing and all that.
and I tried
So,
to send all of it out as like a group thing together, except for a few people that got added in later. But one day when I was like gonna send it out, I woke up early and I started working on addressing envelopes and bagging it up and getting all that stuff done. And I did all that like it took like a whole day pretty much to bag that up and get it all like in the and I did everything the same way where I took the piece of paper, folded over because that was the easiest
oh,
way to do it to where it would fit evenly and everything. And I had to day came so that I was able to get it all mailed out at the same time. And I had to stack those like this tall of envelopes. It weighed like over a pound. And rather than just stick a bunch of envelopes in the mailbox where the mailman would have to literally like grab like an armload to put in the truck, I put rubber bands around it like as a stack, like one rubber band on each end. So it kind of held it
okay.
together. That way they could just grab like the whole stack and take it because there were also a couple other pieces of mail that had to be mailed out that day as well. So it was a lot of stuff. I'm sure the mailman was wondering what the heck was in there or what the heck was going on. Sometimes I wonder, like, because I'm like the master of sending obscure objects through the mail in envelopes, and I just have to wonder what my mailman thinks sometimes with like the odd envelopes that I stick in my mailbox from time to time.
Well, you're not going to be able to stay under the radar too long, Rob. So you just better watch it.
Well, they can open it up, and if they want to try the Bambi challenge, they can go right for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to head off. I'm going to go to bed. I need to get up at 5. So it comes mighty early. So I'll see.
6 hours.
Well, I know that's, I'm working on my sleep study. Yeah, thanks again, Brando, for letting me hang around and be on the show. And I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. You can check out
All
my
right.
show tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So you can see a bunch of us goofballs try this and probably not do as well as Brando.
Yeah, everybody, please, if you can, take a look up Charles on his YouTube channel and Google Plus. He's got his stream going on, just as he was mentioning.
So,
So,
so thanks again, and make sure you check in with Brando every Saturday night. So thanks again for having me on.
well, no problem. Anytime, man.
All right,
Anytime.
all right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good
Later,
one.
Charles.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. All right. So what's up with you, Rob?
I'm just hanging out for the time being.
Yeah.
I'm not in any
Almost.
rush. If you want to call it the night
Huh?
before 2.
What's that, Rob?
I said I'm not in any rush, but I do want to call it a night before too long. But I'm not
Okay.
in any hurry.
Oh, that's cool, man. Oh,
I don't have that time I have to get up tomorrow, but I think I need to do tomorrow. I didn't even harvest anything today because I was too busy loading up dehydrators and dealing with all that, and had to run a few errands and had to do other odds and ends around. Didn't
yeah.
have for everything as that naturally happens. It's just you can't do everything that you hope that you can do in a day, in one day. But I at least got a lot of peppers cut up and saved a bunch of seeds from my certain different varieties that I've been wanting to save some from, which I've kind of been working on that little by little as I load my dehydrator loads. I've been trying to save seeds from certain particular pods from certain particular varieties just to have fresh seed stock for next year, and also have some extras to be able to trade and share with people as time goes on as well.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I've been trying to do a little bit of seed selectivity myself about certain things. Um, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of seed saving and pod sharing of some of these habaneros and whatnot. Um,
Be down on.
because
I'd definitely grow a plant or two of those funky
yeah,
hops because
man, they're putting out some wild shapes and phenotypes, and
I've grown a lot of hops, but I've never seen one look anything.
they're getting size is like pretty big for a Hobbs. So,
Yeah, like Charles was saying, even if the plant doesn't produce very many, depending on how you grow it and your conditions and whatever, the
yeah,
benefit of those is that they're good sized pods, and habaneros are just something good to have around. So being that they're larger pods and have that funky look to them and still the same orange habanero characteristics, that would be a nice variety to just have around as a all around good pepper, because
yeah,
not all is grow habaneros just because it's a good variety to have.
yeah. You're right. And I'll see about getting something like one of these sent to you.
Yeah, those are absolutely wicked.
And very nice pods. And this even came off the same plant too. So,
More of that character to it, like you were saying, been identified as originally.
well, I don't know. I got it from the local farm. They had it in a bag where it was some red and yellow ones, and they had more of a similar shape to a Reaper, but the size of them was more of a golf ball size, with the little skinny stinger like a Reaper has. But it did have more of the skin texture like this. You know how it's bumpy like that?
Kind of more almost. It's not even necessarily the bumps like Reapers have. It's like those little stripy bumps, kind of like
Yeah,
how brain strains have.
yeah, yeah. So, but the thing is, these are a lot hotter than I expected. But there, regardless of what they are, to me, they'd be worth growing. And just because of the simple genetics of them, they would be definitely candidates to
Yeah,
grow. So, and so yeah, I was going to say I'm definitely saving some seeds from those.
that looks like it would be one for any type of it's like a type of sauce just by the color and appearance, and I imagine the smell and flavor kind of pairs well. Like it would be something good to go with like a pineapple or peach or mango type hot
Um,
sauce.
yeah, it'll be. It's got a pretty good flavor, definitely, and the heat definitely hangs in there strong for a while after eating it. Um, but it was just, I don't know. I mean, the only way to fully know is actually try them. So that's why I was going to send some out to people. I even sent one out to Dave Miner, and that. He got his one the other day, so I don't know. He hasn't got back to me on it. I hope I didn't hurt him. So
What's
I'm
going
sure he's good.
on, man? Hey, Barnyard Chicken. I don't think I said hey to you. I might have stepped away. Hope everybody's having a good evening tonight. Hope everybody's weekend's been going well so far. Now that Charles is left, it's only just the camera on you, I've noticed. I just looked at the stream, and I guess that my voice is just a ghost voice. Before it had the windows where it showed, but now it's just only you, and it doesn't ever switch to me when I talk, which it wasn't really
Um,
throughout the
Here,
stream.
let me
As
see.
there
Let
was.
me see if this will do it. I don't know if it did it, but it might have
It,
just switched to just me because of he jumped off. But all right, well go ahead and talk whatever. I'll see if it's doing it. But
we'll have to give it a few seconds because how the video lags for a minute. But I'll keep talking for a second and I'll see if I can see it switch over here in about 15 or 20 seconds. I should be able to see if it does anything. Will or not. It
uh,
still is the single video.
uh, I see what you're saying, man. Yeah, this thing's acting a little funky, but let's see. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, but here, hold on a second, Rob.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's part of the joy of live streaming. Feel
Yeah.
everything. What's going on, everybody? I am here.
hmm
I'm not just in the background.
hmm Yeah, now it should be.
Just been,
It'll probably be more focused on you now, but
yeah, I'm in presentation mode, is what it is.
yeah. And it doesn't help with this little laptop thing that I got here, man. It's severely out of date.
So is
So,
mine that I'm using now, but the laptop that I'm using, at least it seems to work better than the phones that I'd been trying to use before that really lagged really badly and the sound and everything wasn't so good. Which I know the sound and video isn't the best on this one, but it still works better than the phones that I've been using.
Yeah. I mean, the video quality and that on the little laptop thing isn't all that great. That's why I use the camera on the mobile device I'm using.
Yeah.
Because the camera on that, I can start up everything on that, and if I really want to do a live stream on the little laptop thing, it could actually, you know, could actually make do, but it's not going to be the greatest of quality in video. I mean, it's not that I haven't done it before, but it's not going to be like HD, but it's not going to be 1080 or anything, but
What
make do.
to be able to get good video and sound quality, he bought. I want to say his microphone was like $20 or something. He's got like a little clip-on microphone that clips on like the side of the screen, and then he's got a little clip-on video that clips on like right at the top of the screen. And
Yeah,
I say his video camera was like $80, and I think the particular one that he uses is on sale on Amazon for like $40 now. So for like $40 for a camera and $20 for a microphone, you can get like a
yeah,
setup to where it'll stream more smoothly, and that's why his sound quality is always so clear and so good because he has that little clip-on microphone that works.
yeah. You could. I mean, people can get one of those ones that plug in their headphone jacks for their mobile. If they're doing it off their mobile device. I've seen those. I mean, but those will help with because they'll even have that little padded thing on there that'll block out the wind distortion. But um, but yeah, I don't know. I was using my mobile device and that while I was in the garden the other day doing the CPRs and that. I mean, the device I got like not too long ago, and it's actually got some pretty good camera quality comparatively. I
Yeah,
mean, but yeah, so especially comparatively to this dang little laptop, I mean, this little laptop, yeah, with this little laptop thing, it's just like I don't know, it's probably 8, 10 years old or something, man.
I'm not even sure how old this one is, but it still has the little stickers like right by the keyboard of what it came with. And this one came with Windows 7, which is actually running on Windows 10 now. It was one that my dad had, and he was getting a new one, and he had this one wiped clean, and he gave it to me back. I mean, it's still been years ago, which every year the computers get better. So this computer's like outdated as is, even from when he gave it to me. If it was newer when he gave it to me, but it wasn't. And this one
Yeah,
had Windows 7, which I wish he had left it with Windows 7 because I don't really particularly care for the way that Windows 10 operates, and it's been difficult to deal with, which I'm so far out of the computer loop as far as that stuff goes. I don't even feel comfortable on Windows 7, but Windows 7 is easier to work with than Windows 10, and this one has Windows 10, and I'm not a fan of it. And a lot of people that are computer geeks and stuff that I've talked to are like, yeah, I don't really care for Windows 10 either. So I think it's not just me that has that problem, but I think that most of what it was is that this computer is just too old to support something so new as that at the time when it was uploaded on there. So
yeah, this one's so old, it's not even on Windows 7. I think it's on Windows XP.
yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, this one is it's one of those ones that can make do with doing a lot of things, but it's not definitely not up to speed or on anything. So I mean, but I don't know if I saved up enough money, I could always get one of those newer laptops. But I don't know. I mean, I could always find better use than $500.
yeah, I hear you there. That's why I haven't done that and made steps towards starting up my YouTube channel, which I would like to do eventually, but I'm gonna have to get a decent computer and get some sort of faux pro or something. I'm not gonna get an
Yeah.
actual. I'll just get like one of the knockoff ones, and then
Well, they do got YouTube. They do got YouTube cameras. I mean, ones that you can just take around. That's not much bigger than a regular camera. It's all made for making YouTube videos and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I don't remember the prices on those because I remember that some of them were pretty cheap, and they could take some pretty good videos. But I don't know about that. Um,
you can switch the camera back now. I feel like it's been stuck on me for a long time.
feel like you're being put on the spot.
Well, it doesn't even show your little side window down on the video like it does when we're in the chat. Like together, I can see you down in the corner, but then the people on YouTube can't see you. It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I wish. I don't know if Rev is still around. Rev may or may not be around. He might have already Rev rolled, but
No, I added him to the conversation in what we're in right now, but I don't think he got like shown to it. I was going to invite him in, but it's not showing on unless I get his email, which I don't have. So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to hound him about it, but uh, yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, if he's around, then that's cool. I'll bring him on, but I don't know. It feels like it's getting warm in here. Yeah, well.
But I know Rev knows a lot more about that whole live streaming thing than a lot of people do, and he has troubleshooted every problem that you could pretty much.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. With the way that let's say YouTube is or has been, they've kind of been a little weird and constantly changing things without saying much to people. Yeah, I wish they would actually let people know what's going on when they change stuff, but they don't always do
The camera's still stuck on me. I
that.
think it's to where you have to click your screen and then it'll go to you. I've seen other people that have done that with multiple people and they have trouble with it switching back and forth and they have to like click back. If you click your picture, then it'll, yeah, like it went right to you just then. And I've seen people that have done live streams where they have difficulties with that. And when other people are talking, they just try and, like, whoever's operating the stream, they keep clicking on different pictures to try and make it, like, seem like it's working. But I don't know what the details of why that doesn't work is.
Yeah, it's just too bad they don't offer the same settings that's on desktops or laptops to the mobile devices. They make it so there seems like there's so less routed features comparatively. You know,
Yeah.
I mean that make it so much better if they could just make it all around.
Do you run your Hangouts through Chrome?
Yeah, well on the laptop thing.
Yeah. That's the
I
way that,
mean,
like, you don't want to do it in any other way. You want to run it through Chrome. Chrome.
yeah, because I mean the other browsers on this thing are severely outdated and don't operate right anyway. So, and it had Chrome on it, and just going with that.
Yeah, even if they were updated, Chrome just works better. I've heard a lot of discussion about that before.
I mean, it's a Google product. It's more tailored to making things more functional. So,
and because Hangouts and YouTube are both run through
Google,
Google, it
yeah,
meant to run and operate using Chrome. So Chrome is the way to go. I know that's one tip that I have picked up from people along the way as far as like what works and doesn't work is that Chrome is the way to go.
yeah.
We've had this problem before of the not switching cameras when we've done streams together before, and I can't remember. There was some way that we got it fixed at one point to where it was switching, but I don't remember what it was that uh, made that difference.
Yeah.
Because when me, you, and Alex had originally done it a couple times, I remember we kind of ran into the same issue.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's just a little different, man. For some odd reason, it's different. Um,
With
I
two
don't
people
know.
panel, like it's just me and you, it only shows just you and doesn't show me. But if like when Charles was here, it at least had like the little windows down at the bottom where it showed that there were other people there. It just wasn't switching back and forth. Like,
Uh,
and I don't know what that is. I think it has to do with that you have it open on one where you have it. It shows because I can see the little where I see your icon and it has it muted. I think it's because you have it running on there, and so that's throwing it off. So if you were doing it off of the device that your video is going through right now, and it was just that and just me, it would be switching back and forth. But I think that it's that extra device that is linked into it that is what's throwing it off. And
well, I mean,
like,
doing it that way. No, I mean, if I were to just eject that one that's running through the little laptop thing off of, then it'd probably pretty much drop the call. But
I don't believe it would.
I
Um,
mean, well, I've actually had something like that happen a while ago, where I was doing that, then it just got then I just ejected that one that's from the laptop, and then just the person couldn't really keep up the stream or something like that. I was like, oh, I don't know. It's just a lot of things are just kind of weird when it comes to stuff like that. See, if it making it easier just to do all the invites straight from the mobile device rather than having to go
you
through
could always,
what was that?
yeah, just like, it wouldn't hurt anything if it did just suddenly end, but just to see if it does anything. Because I'm pretty sure since both of those are open through you, it's still going to be you're in control of it. And so if you close out that one, then you're still going to be in control of it, but through your mobile device, and you're the one
Uh, yeah,
determining.
the reason why I was saying what I was saying on that is because I think if the convo and hangout was started on the laptop thing itself, that's one thing. But if it was started on the mobile device, is another thing. Because I think it's just from what other streamers have said, what they've had problems with. I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong or anything. I'm just going by what other people have told me or showed me, saying that they would try to end it with the off the thing, and then their whole thing got dropped.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't know if they changed it since, but I mean, I haven't heard anything from YouTube, so I mean, they're not very good at notifying everybody on stuff. But I don't know, man. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, I mean, if that's true, then I'll do that. But I'm just trying to play it safe on this thing right now. Oop, uh-oh. Am I still there?
yeah.
All right, I almost thought I hit the wrong thing.
It switched to me. I guess now it's just me. But I still say if you tried exiting out of the one, it might flow seamlessly between the two. It would be worth a try. Now it went back to you. I don't know if it's doing that on its own or if you clicked your picture.
No, I'm doing the clicking on my own on that one.
Yeah. I've never played around with it much, and I've only ever even tried to do it all once myself. That I posted. I did like me, Charles, and BD one day, or no, it was me, Charles, and Rev. I think, or not. Sorry, me, BD, and Rev. And I did like a group call because I was like curious on how to do that. I've never added in an extra person on Hangouts through.
Oh, yeah, doing a group call versus the actual live stream is slightly different. I
And
mean,
I,
from what I was reading up on it when I was getting into this stuff.
yeah, like if for instance, if you called me on Hangouts on video call, there's an option, especially on my laptop. I noticed recently, there's an option where if you video called me, I have the ability to add in people. So, which right now, because we're on the Hangouts live, it's different, and I can't add in people. You're the one that's in control of that. But if it was just a regular Hangouts call, I could go and add in people just by clicking the little like add, and then I can search people and send them an invite and add in people. And I've done that before and played around with that. And it's interesting how that stuff works. And I wish that it was the same format for the Hangouts live because it would make it so much easier.
Yeah, if you could just add people in just as you would as in a Hangouts call, that would make it just a lot better. But they don't make it that way, which is unfortunate.
But
All
yeah,
right. Hold on a second here. All right, now that one went through. All right. Rev is getting a hold of me.
Rev was.
Yeah, he was just talking to me now. He said, I don't know if he's going to pop in or what.
Rev, we need tech support. Rev could run a business off of his tech support with live stream meetups because he's dealt with it for so long. I swear, before I didn't even know that YouTube had an ability streams until I saw Rev do it. And but maybe like 6 months or a year after I started seeing Rev doing his show, that I noticed all the like big name YouTubers started going live and stuff. But Rev was probably
Doing what? What was that?
I was saying Rev was probably one of the first people that started doing like the live streams of anybody that I saw. Like there's been live streams on Rev's channel for a long time, but it wasn't until he had been doing it for a while I started seeing some of the big name YouTubers moving into the live stream broadcasting.
Yeah, I had thought about it for the longest, but then I was just like, every time I'd get to it, I'm like, yeah, no, I'll pass. I mean, I just kept like getting myself closer and closer and wanting to do it, and I was just like, nah, maybe people don't want to see me doing a live stream, you know?
I think live streams are awesome. That's like the like new wave thing to do now, and I think everybody should do live streams, and especially impromptu live streams. like JT Bear recently has been doing a lot of impromptu live streams where he doesn't really announce that he's going to do anything. He just pops up, and all of a sudden I'll see JT Bear's live, and it's awesome. Like, I think that more
Yeah.
people do that because it's a great way to have people there in the live chat and be able to interact. And it's more, yeah, people can watch your video and leave comments and you can reply and stuff, but it's a lot cooler having people around right then watching. Even if it is a 20-second delay, a 20-second delay is way better than uploading a video, then checking it hours later and seeing comments and replying. It's like a lot cooler. I think both from a broadcaster and a viewer standpoint, it's a lot cooler to just be able to interact. And that live stream is definitely a cool function. I think YouTube was onto something when they came up with that.
I think Rev's having a trouble joining. He just said that in the chat.
Maybe Rev has to send you his email like how Charles did.
No, I did. I did that. I sent him the thing, and his said it did the same thing. It wasn't letting him join. Huh. Maybe there could be some kind of issue going on with the tube.
Like I said, I'd try exiting out of the other one just to see if it does anything. If it drops it, it drops it. But I would just exit out and see if that might be the source of the problem. What you got there?
Huh? Oh, this is an ornamental. This one's kind of scraggly. It's not doing the best, but
That's
don't
still
need
a pretty neat looking.
Huh? Well,
I said that's still a pretty neat looking little.
yeah, I'm gonna have to probably use a little peroxide mixture on this the roots here because it's getting a little smell to it. But well, it looks like it's starting to get some new growth. I had to take it out of the container it was in because the container, the sports drink container I had it in was a little funky. Starting to get that little algae stuff in there. But yeah, let me see here.
Have you been working on building up uh, pods for your powder blends so far this season yet, or have you not gotten?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I'm just building up on that. Um, I got some stuff going on, and yeah, it's just a different things messing around with that.
Yeah, that's been one of my main focuses this year because, as you know, I am somewhat of a powder freak, and I love having powder blends around. And my biggest regret from last season, aside from not starting earlier, which I almost didn't grow at all last year, my friend had a garden, and I knew I was going to be able to get some stuff from him, but I almost didn't even start anything for myself. And I wish that I had, and I wish that I'd grown more plants just to be able to do more with the powder blends, because that's always one of my most favorite things to do. And so this year I've really been focusing on that, and I've got so far, and I've already got a bunch that I've blended up, but I mean I've got just bags full of dried pods that I've been accumulating. I've got a
Yeah,
little over of
those
dry.
bags those bags of dry pods build up quick.
Yeah, they do.
Um,
And I've got my dehydrator completely loaded, which I think this pound of pods is mostly from one dehydrator load of 6 trays, which my trays are large, rectangular to the newer dehydrator that I got. And I have an older dehydrator, which I'm not using at all. But my newer dehydrator has some large trays to it, and it really holds a lot. And then I also have at the current moment, I have another dehydrator that's one of my friends that I used for when I did the Bambi challenge, and it's a Nesco, one of the Nesco professional ones, and he has a ton of different trays, which I think he had brought like 7 or 8 trays for me whenever I did the Bambi challenge jerky, and then I cleaned the trays and stuff, and I've been using that. Uh, or just today, I busted that out for some pods because I filled my dehydrator full of 6 full trays, and I still had more pods. So I ended up loading his up with 3 more trays, and I didn't even harvest anything today or yesterday. Like I'm gonna be able to harvest like probably another almost a whole dehydrator load tomorrow. I've got a garden up the street. I haven't checked in 3 or 4 days. I imagine that there's like a decent handful of stuff there to pick. Plus, I've got a bunch here. So between the 2 gardens alone, I'm gonna have like another dehydrator load ready, like before my dehydrator is even finished with what I've got in them now. And yeah, it
okay.
definitely quick.
Yeah, they do build up a lot quicker than a lot of people expect. But in regards to anything like garden wise, I'd like to. I don't know. I'd like to be in a position where my garden season could last longer. But um, it's not too bad though.
When you dehydrate your pods, do you do them whole or do you cut them in half?
Uh, that really depends on the thickness of them. Um, the thinner walled ones, I don't necessarily cut in half, but it
But you
depends on how fast. It depends on how fast you want them to dry. Like I usually just some of them, if you want to keep them more in a certain position, like the thinner ones, you could just put a couple cuts down the couple of the sides so it can breathe out. But then the bigger ones, you might have to cut in half. Like say if you like the thicker walled ones, you'd have to cut up in probably slices maybe. But then the thinner walled ones, you can cut them in half if you want them to dry out faster. It just depends. If it would be better for you to dry them out faster, then cut them in half. But
I've been cutting all mine in half, except for some of the different ahi varieties and stuff, where I'll more just put a slit down them, like I'm gonna cut them,
okay,
but I don't cut them, and then I put them in there because they end up drying really quickly, anyways. But like for instance, some of the Scotch brains that I've been growing this year, a lot of the Scotch brains are coming out like big giant saucers, and if you cut
okay,
half side to side then or top to bottom cut them in half, then they don't sit right in the dehydrator. So what I've
uh,
found for that and like Bohemian goats and a few other different varieties that tend to be really wide pods, I like cutting them side to side to where there's the top and bottom half,
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're
and then
saying.
I lay that
Yeah,
out
ones
in
that
the
can have that odd
dehydrator.
shape. Yeah, like ones that can have shapes kind of like these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be tricky because that's in between what I'm talking about and a longer pod, because that's kind of a longer shape, but it has that wide brim to it as well. So if you cut that in half top to bottom, it's not going to want to sit right in the tray. But if you cut it in half side to side, it's still not going to want to sit right. So that one would be a tricky one. That one you might want to like quarter, I could see, like if you're going to dehydrate those would be like a little bit trickier than others. But as far as like Scotch Brains or Bohemian Goats, where they aren't too thick, but they're really wide, I've noticed that cutting them side to side and then laying the halves upright like that works really well. And then for different other longer pods, I mean, even Carolina Reapers and most other regular size pods, I just cut them in half top to bottom and then lay them on the trays is how I've been doing it, which is
Yeah.
how I use it. But I've never grown anything like Scotch Brains before where they're so wide and they aren't very tall, but they're very wide. I've never grown big saucer like things like that before where they're just, you can't cut them in half. And I did it the first time I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I had to cut them in quarters and then lay quarters on there, but it was still like odd shapes. And then it finally dawned on me, since they aren't very tall and they're very wide, just cut them in half side to side. So it's like a top and bottom half, and it's like a perfect circle, and then just lay it out open on the tray like that. And that's what I've found for me that works the best as far as doing that.
Yeah.
I've dried a lot of pods already, and I've already shared a lot of powders, which I've got more powders in the kitchen, but this is like some of the powders that I've made so far this year, and that
Okay, nice.
that's on top of that big bag of dried pods that I have that could fill a lot more jars. And I'm gonna eventually, some of the blends I kind of did them as like test batches with the first runs of dried pods that I'd had. And I'll move those up into bigger jars. I've got some like larger mason jars that I'm gonna move the blends into, and that way I can add to it because, as you know, like some varieties may ripen before others, and I've got other varieties that I intend to be in certain blends that I haven't gotten, like I haven't made complete duns yet. And that's why I hadn't really shared it out with too many people. It was kind of more just like sent some out to a few different people just because I was wanting to share some powders, and I had the powders, but they're incomplete. And then once I get more variety in them, feel like they're at a good level where I want them to be, then I'll start sharing it out with a lot more people.
All right. Um, let's see. Rob's messaging me now. I don't know if he is going to be able to do it right, but he might be able to do it now this way. But I don't know. Yeah. All right.
I've also been recently working on saving up some pods for some sauces and stuff. I wasn't in a big rush for that because I know how things are going to get in the next month. And there's going to be so many pods that I don't even have dehydrator space to take care of all the pods that I'm going to be getting. So that's when freezing pods is going to be more something to do. But as I was getting a little of this and a little of that, I figured running a dehydrator was the most efficient way to deal with my pods. And I'm sure a lot of people have wondered after seeing like the harvest photos that I've been posting regularly and stuff, like what I've been doing with all those pods. I've been, of course, eating some here and there, and cooking with some, chopping them up as fresh garnish on things, whatever. But I've also been taking the bulk of everything and just putting them into my powder blends. So that way I have a better stockpile of that, like, come end of the season.
Yeah.
And I can freeze stuff later on because even stuff that's frozen, you can end up making into powder by dehydrating them later on. But I'd rather do fresh dried pods when I can, and then save some frozen ones for sauces and stuff. And my yellow jackets, which I only did 2 yellow jackets this year, but my yellow jackets, I've been taking all of those and putting them in a gallon Ziploc bag and saving those up for sauce. If you have a tie, a white tie or something.
No, actually, they look a lot like a white tie, but this is actually a cross I came up with. They're a bit smaller than they normally are, but
It doesn't show you on the camera; it just shows me on the YouTube.
but yeah, it's got more of a kind of almost a greenish yellowish kind of creamish color right now, but
They ripen to red eventually.
yeah, but this is more like an off color comparatively to what they normally are, because they get more different colorations rather than just go to like this. It's odd. It's just an odd variation.
And how are those? Do they have a nice crunch to them and just that like stingy type burn?
Well, those pods are still a little young yet. There's still like a mild kind of a burn to them, and so the flavor right now is still you can tell it's a bit of ways from being ripened. It's still got that kind of premature pepper kind of flavor.
Yeah.
You know, almost kind of greenish in taste, but not bad flavor. But I don't know. Kind of tastes like some of those ones that people would kind of pickle a lot. But normally they do get more heat to them. But as I said, those ones are picked kind of early.
That's another thing I've been working on this year is pickling more peppers because I always love having pickled peppers around. And that's a good way to keep peppers in a pepper state, but for snacking year round. And they're great, like whole or sliced or diced up, however you want to do it. But it's nice to have some jars of pickled peppers around. And last year, I only made a handful of jars of pickled peppers, but during the winter time, I was kind of kicking myself for not making more. I wish that I did do that because I could have made a lot more pickled peppers last year. I just didn't. And I had a lot of the right varieties to do pickled peppers with. I haven't ever pickled any super hots. Experiment with that some this season. And
Well, I would suggest like trying to get some throw a couple of thicker walled ones in there with some of the super hots, but you can pickle the super hots, but they're just gonna be different consistency because they're not as thick walled.
yeah, they'll get really soft. But
Right.
one of the things I did recently that I still haven't opened a jar, it should be getting right around the time to be good to open one, but I took some orange habaneros and
Yeah.
I sliced them like how you would do jalapeno slices, but with habaneros, like from tip to top, like sideways cuts, and did like habanero orange habanero rings and just pickled those. And that's something I'm curious to see how that turns out. I could just imagine it being something good for putting on pizza or on sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, even just if you're eating a plate of food and you want something on the side, just grab out like some of those and have them on the plate and just kind of like eat one of those little rings with like a bite of food.
Yeah. Um, Oop, feel like it felt the pepper burp coming out. Yeah. Um, hold on 1 second. I think there's a pepper I was looking for, but I can't find it right here. Um, eh, can't find it right now. Ugh.
I guess they
Oh
can't
well.
on me. I just noticed in the chat Barnyard Chicken told me to smile. I guess I wasn't smiling. I'm not in the office, it's just late at night and just chilling. I
Yeah.
always tend to have a scowl on my face. I think that kind of runs in my family. I'm a
Yeah.
happy person, nice person. Anybody that knows me knows that's how I am. But I also tend to hold a scowl at times, and it's nothing intentional. It's just the way that I am.
Yeah. So check this pepper out.
What is
This one's called, I dubbed it called the mini boot because the size of it gets
Yeah, I was
possibly.
gonna say it looks almost like it's something in like the Naga family.
And the seeds were supposed to be of, the company wrote it as a boot jalokia, but they get roughly like around this size, 1 to 2 inches long, almost kind of like some smaller boot shapes, but more like this. And they got one mean ass burn for this little pepper, and I think, and to me, I feel the burn on this one is a good million plus, just for this little pepper. I mean, it's not a big pepper, but it's pretty darn hot for a little pepper.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, check these two out.
Oh wow. Both those look gnarly. That chocolate one is wicked though. That thing's like
And
deep dark chocolate color. It's
yeah,
almost
see, yeah, these are pretty hot ones. Um, but then there's this one.
that thing looks scary.
See, the thing is, weirdest thing is, same strain.
I was gonna ask, they look similar. I can see
Same
the
strain.
characteristics and similarities.
Yeah.
But I've got
And then,
certain different ones like Kangstar's Texas Crimson Bonnet. I've got a red and a chocolate pheno just like that from two different plants. They're from the same seeds.
this year I got it's a crossbine that I started up with the past couple years. Got like six or so plants of it going on, and I got like 3 or 4 different color variations almost now. Um, there's one that starts off like a light green color and double shaded, and then it just ripens to a nice color. Let's see if I can find the pod. Ah, this pod's actually a nice size. See, it gets almost like an orangish red color, but pod's actually
Yeah, it's got that like lava color.
and then there's another one that gets like a multicolored look to it, but I don't got too many of those showing up just yet. I mean, I'm just kind of waiting to see how the colors that it shows up, because sometimes when they show up one color and they just give them a little while, they shift to another. But I don't know. All right, I haven't heard back from Rev. So,
He commented in the chat a few minutes ago.
yeah, but resent him another invite via doing it straight through the email rather than sending him an email through the Hangout. So I don't know if he's fiddling around with that or what.
The other thing, like Charles was saying, the only other way that I know to do it that works well is you can copy a link to this chat and then paste that link in his Hangouts and send it to him that way. Because that was what me and Charles were saying at the very beginning of how me and him have difficulties getting together. And for some reason, it works well going to BD, but it doesn't work to me like when he sends the call. So the only way for me to be able to hop on, copy the link, click into that link, and then it'll like pop up with the Hangouts on air, and then I click the little check the box, and then say okay, and then enter the call that way. That's the only other way that I've seen that it works.
Well, I mean, when I sent it to Charles earlier, I sent him a invite through Hangouts on the little laptop thing, and then he came in. So I don't know. It's just that he wasn't popping. Rev's thing wasn't popping up on the invite thing like I was doing through the Hangouts. Yeah, so I don't know, man. This thing just acts weird sometimes. Okay, now let's see if this one will work. Now his name's actually popping up. What the frick?
Gotta love technology.
Yeah. Alright. I just sent the thing from Hangouts. I don't know if it was. I mean, I just sent it around the time where he just sent the last message. So, so he probably didn't see it until after he sent the message. Alrighty. plant here. We need to get that pot off here soon. Left that pot on there way too long.
What pot is that? What plant is that?
This is off the similar same strain pretty much as the ones I showed you a minute ago. It just looks different because it's in the coffee container. Ooh, don't want to spill that. And check out the roots on this one. They're
That's nice looking. Those look like some good healthy roots.
oh. Almost thought I was going to tip this guy over for a second. Ugh.
JDS, quit thumbs down in live streams.
What's that?
JDS is over there thumbs down in live streams again.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of them might need a timeout. Oh, man. Ref must
Yeah, I
have
guess
me.
I'm.
What's that?
So I guess I'm about reaching the end of my stay.
All right, man. Yeah, because I know it's
I
getting
got a
pretty
few
late.
more minutes in me, but I'm done. Yeah, I did 46. I've been pulling these late nights recently, and I can't do that like as a routine. It's not healthy. Plus, it doesn't work very well as being productive during the day.
Yeah, I know. I know that. I mean, I've been trying to kind of alter my things as I'm going. Staying up too late because I've been making so that I've been getting up around 4:30 ish every morning, and staying up late doesn't make for a very productive day.
No, I
Uh,
think one of the nights not too long ago, me and Rev stayed up like till about 4:30. Like when you were getting up, we were like closing down, like getting ready for bed.
yeah, that was another night, wasn't it?
If it's 4:30, like because you're on the same time as me, but when it's 4:30 our time, it's 5:30 Rev's time. So even right now, it's 11:47 here. It's 12:47 where Rev's at.
Hey, I think Rev wants you to take a drink of some apple juice out of a very small glass.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not falling to peer pressure. Not tonight. I could.
Yeah, it's only apple juice. No.
I do have some cinnamon apple juice. I think I didn't finish that yesterday when Susie was pressuring me. I'm not even sure if there's quite a small glass worth. There is some. And then there's a couple apple slices and some cinnamon sticks, which I'm not going to eat those, but I'll see.
Yeah.
Rev,
Yeah. Well,
just
as long as you don't as long as you don't end up wearing a red dress later on. But.
nah. And if I do, I'll make sure to mow my yard and make a video of it. But there is a very small glass of some cinnamon apple juice, just for you, Rev. I hope that satisfies your needs for the night because that's all you're getting out of me. Honestly, that stuff tastes amazing, anyways. It reminds me of Christmas time.
Hey, Rev said, keep it going. He'll fire up the old live streaming device.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to start eating glass because that was all that was in there. Unless I want to try and fish out those apple slices, which I wouldn't be against trying to do sometime, but that was all that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that stuff, it tastes like Christmas is the best way I could describe it. Just that like
Tastes
apple,
festive.
that apple. No, it
Gives you
doesn't.
that festive feeling.
Christmas is expensive, but it has that like cinnamon apple just goodness, like
Yeah.
very
It hits that
strong
right.
upfront cinnamon flavor with like a smooth apple cider type finish to it. It makes me like feel like I should be drinking it out of a glass, like warm, sitting in front of like a fireplace or something.
Eat the glass, Rev says.
Yeah, no eating the glass tonight. I could try to fish out one of the apple slices, but I don't really feel like doing that either. I'll save that for another night.
Yeah, man.
I've made my own cinnamon apple juice like that before with some corn water and took
Well,
some
just think that time of the year isn't too far off where the orchards, the apple orchards are going to be harvesting and all that. So,
yeah.
uh,
One of the
yeah,
gardens that I have over at my buddy's house, there's a large row of muscadines growing out there. Like there's like they have like the little built up like thing for the vines to grow on, but there's like a big long row of muscadines, and I don't know if it's too late for those or not. But I've always heard about like how amazing muscadine wine is, and I've like thought about like picking some of those and maybe trying to make a muscadine wine. Or another idea that I had was pick some of those and try and make like a muscadine hot sauce.
huh.
Muscadines, I don't know if you're familiar with them. I think that's more of a southern thing, but it's like in the grape family. It's a grape pretty much, but they're different from regular grapes.
Yeah. I mean,
Def-
the name sounds familiar. But sometimes there are certain fruits or vegetables I don't really know by name that well. I'll probably know by, you know, seeing them. When the name I'll probably be going a little off.
yeah. One of the things I'm definitely gonna play around with this year though is pawpaws because pawpaws are absolutely delicious. One of the best fruits I've ever eaten, and they grow wild by the river around here. And I guess it wouldn't take a whole lot to make a batch of hot sauce, and I know I could get at least enough to make a good batch of hot sauce. I don't know if they freeze well or not, but I might try and freeze some and see if I could save them for like later hot sauce. But I'm gonna get some pawpaws and make a pawpaw hot sauce. And
Yeah.
pawpaws, they have like a custardy texture, and it's mushy. It's like got a little bit of a stringiness to it, almost kind of like a mango does, but not quite so stringy. And it's kind of mushy like a banana, but different. It's juicier and has like a certain custardy aspect to it as well. But
Okay.
the flavor itself of the pawpaws is like a if you were to like crossbreed a mango, a pineapple, and a mango, pineapple, and a banana together, like, is what the flavor combination is like. It's the most bizarre. It just sets your senses in overload when you taste one of them because it's like, wow, it just has this overall tropical flavor to it. It would be a good one to pair with something like that pod that you were showing that was supposed to be a Carolina Reaper that you said that was hot. Although I can imagine that the smell and flavor of that would be something that would be in agreement with something like a really tropical hot sauce. It would be something that would pair well with like a orangish yellow colored pod. Scotch Brain would be another good one. Any type of pod that has that sort of color range that has that certain scent and flavor profile to it would pair really well with these fruits. And I'm going to definitely do some sort of hot sauce experiment with that this season.
Yeah. There's a hot sauce that I tried at the Hot Sauce Expo. Um, that it wasn't designed to be particularly hot, but it is really nice, flavorful type of um sauce, and it doesn't taste vinegary at all, and it tastes fruity because they used the local fruits that they had right by them, and with the sauce they made, and it just tastes really awesome.
What's
Um,
up, BD? BD Beats is over there working some graphic design magic at his friend's house, making a drumskin logo.
cool.
BD's always working on something for somebody. Anybody that needs any graphic design stuff done should hit up BD Beats, as if he doesn't have enough people already hitting him up for things. But he is a master at doing what he does, and he does some awesome work. Straws are great.
Yeah. Oh, I was mentioning a bit ago to Charles. I was like, well, when I was at the store earlier, I just happened to look up in the aisle. I was at there's a bag of straws right in my face, pretty much. I was like, maybe I should get those, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
You definitely should get those.
Yeah. Because I mean, I was just like, I seen them. I was like, wait. Yeah, I should probably get them, but I was like, nah, I'm in a bit of a rush. But I should have gotten them, but so.
I was just so lucky ever since this whole straw craze came about, and I like went and looked in the kitchen, and like in one of the drawers, I like have a bag of straws, and I was like, awesome. I thought we had straws, but I wasn't for
Oh,
sure.
that reminds me. That reminds me. I think there might be a bag of straws downstairs. Now that I think about it,
Most
I
people
probably
have
should.
one of the drawers in their kitchen, just like
Yeah, I was just thinking, man.
that's a
Maybe we should
common
make.
thing to have around.
Maybe we should, during a lot of the live streams. Maybe we should have a theme going on with straws.
I know
Just
one
like
night.
every so often, be like, I'm kind of thirsty.
Yep.
Then
I
get a
mean,
drink.
it's convenient.
Then get
You
a
don't have to like. I know for women that wear lipstick and stuff, the common complaint as to why women use straws is that they don't want to mess up their lipstick by drinking out of a glass. And so a straw is where it's at. And even if you're just drinking water, it's nice to have a straw. It just like flows smoothly down your throat. It's just straws are great.
yeah. And then thing that also be part of the thing at the on some of the strains, we could just make it so where there's just enough fluid at the end of the cup to be like getting that little.
I had that a little bit ago. Like I got down, and I'm almost out of water in there. But I got down to where I was like towards the end, and I kind of made that slurping sound.
Right. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, well, oh yeah, when I started doing some of my live streams on was my old phone that I had was my Note 3. Right.
Yep, straws are great. That's the best part when you get to the bottom of the cup. But it so efficiently sucks every last bit out of there. Later, barnyard chicken. I think it's getting about that time for old Rob too.
Yeah, I was about to say it's getting there.
I'm gonna have to keep safeguard on my straws. Make sure that nobody breaks in and tries to.
Hey, I got a gift we could send a gift bag of to Sue or Susie.
Send her a box of scorpion peppers and straws.
Right? Yeah, we should all pitch in together, put some spices together, from a little packet from everybody, and then there's just a bunch of straws in there. Uh, oh man. All right, guys. Well, I guess we could, since we don't have really anybody else joining in on the stream right now. Um, I mean, since Rev's too scared to jump on right now.
He's probably about 3 minutes away from a rev roll.
He's probably over there sitting there like, cuddling with Pepper Pig. PD Beats, it went good.
Brando said it was about a 2 out of 10 on his eat range. So that means that it's about a 20 out of 10 for anybody else. No, he didn't really say that, but he did say that it was hot and that the progression of heat actually followed in sequence, which was something that I was looking forward to. I know I sent it out to a lot of people, but I was really looking forward to somebody like you trying it. Not so much that I was obviously I knew you would be fine doing it, but I really was looking forward to your opinion on it as to what you had to say about it. And I'm glad that what I thought up in my head played out and how it worked out. And the progression actually did progress rather than skip around. I was trying not to skip around. And it wasn't that I went for like random ideas. Like there was a lot of thought that went into it. And I liked
Yeah.
that the levels turned out from what I've seen
Yeah,
and what I heard from you.
that's what I was kind of suggesting, that as you played around with it, you'd probably find new ways to kind of progress it along, get to more where you'd like it to be, you know?
Yeah, and I
Just
should
give me some.
have tried all of them myself, but I wanted to for my because I get excited about challenges when challenges come up, and I wanted to be able to be excited to do it myself. And I was kind of almost like wanting to do it last night, but there was nobody else that was around to do it, and it wouldn't even been an appropriate time to do it last night if there were people around to do it. But I kind of been wanting to try it, like, and I almost thought about doing it, like, even if multiple people did it multiple nights, like I was almost gonna do it like multiple times if I had to.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was saying. I mean, just look at it this way. It's like, it's a learning thing. This is step one, and then there's next stage is step two, three, four, and so on.
yeah,
Like a progression kind of thing.
and like I said, you're the first person that actually has tried the challenge that I know of. There's a lot of people that have it. Everybody has it sitting around, but you're the first person that actually did it, and I appreciate you doing it. I thank you for being a part of it, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And that was kind of what I was going for. It wasn't like how you Death Nut Challenge, how it's like chewing on a mouthful of powder paste with like a little bit of peanut. I wasn't looking for something like that. I wasn't trying to make a challenge like that. And it wasn't, if I wanted to, I could have taken that challenge to a whole nother level. I could have made it something that would like wreck people and make people have unpleasant experiences, especially as far as people that can't handle that sort of heat. I could have really messed up some people if I wanted. That was not my goal. My goal on this challenge has been for everybody to get together, have a good time, have fun, enjoy it, eat something that tastes good, and just have a good time. Like, and I just wanted to share it around with as many people as I could. I wish it made me feel bad, like seeing other people throughout time be like, "Oh, how can I get in on this?" And I hate like having to reply people and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like there's no more like for now, like maybe next time." And next time, if there are other people that are down to do it, then I'll gladly enter in other people. And I'm not
Yeah.
against sharing with people. It's just I I sent it out to like 21 or 22 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. I made a large batch of jerky. Jerky is something that I look forward to only
Yeah, that's another thing what I was also
a
mentioning
few
earlier.
times a year.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. It doesn't hurt to experiment around with different types of meat either. And then
Yeah.
even when you said even added little pieces of peppers in there, that'd even be a good idea as well.
Well,
So
that's where I said like my friend has like one of the like he has like the legit setup, and it's my buddy Catman Outdoors that I had in the flyer, and he's got a YouTube channel. That's his YouTube channel, and he does hunting and fishing videos, and also some other different odds and ends. And he's got a fairly large subscriber base. I think he's got like somewhere between 14 and 18,000 subscribers. And so his channel's not huge, but his channel's big, and he's a great guy. And I've been friends with him since he was like 11, 12 years old, or maybe not that. No, I think I've probably known him since he was about like 11, 12 years old. And now he's in his like mid to late 20s. So I've known him for a good bit of time, and me and him have been good fishing buddies, and we're like really close and fellow pepper growers, and he's a heck of a pepper grower, and
oh hey,
he's also very apt.
did you see what Rev messaged on the chat?
No,
Uh, he said Kelly is willing to buy the Babby challenge. That's how bad she wants it.
yeah, and that's the thing though. I could have made so much money if I was trying to like sell it, but I got two things to say about that. First off, and that's coming from me, is that I wasn't trying to make any money on this. This has been completely sponsored by me, and it's completely been me, myself, wanting to share it with people because have encountered so many awesome people through the PLC that have been so kind and shared so many awesome things over the period that I've been in there. And that's what it's about. It's about everybody showing love to each other. And the other big point behind the Bambi Challenge, especially, is that any wild game cannot be resold. So, because it was wild game that made the jerky, it's actually illegal if I was to sell that. So that's like, and I wouldn't have, even if it had been beef, I wouldn't have sold it. It would have been something that I did to just like share with people because that's what I wanted to do. And next time I do it, I'll do the same thing. I guess rather than um, sell it, I could ask people to pay for shipping or whatever. But I'm not
Yeah,
too worried.
tell them to cover postage and shipping.
I'm not worried about that either. Though it's just it
Yeah,
was
I'm
something
just
that I
saying,
wanted
just
to do.
if it was something that you wanted to go to, to a degree of just covering postage and shipping, but still without making a profit.
Yeah, but it was just something I did to just spread the love and share it around with people, and I wanted it to be a fun experience for everybody. I wasn't trying to wreck anybody. I wasn't trying to do anything like that. It just was something to kind of bring everybody together and have a good time because that's what it's all
Oh,
about.
oh, and Rev says no, selling wild game is illegal.
Yeah, it's very illegal.
That's what Rev was just saying. I think he was joking around. But
Oh, not selling. Or wait, no, you said no selling. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Selling wild game is illegal. So,
That's what I'm saying. I think he was joking, messing with you, man. But yeah, uh, but yeah, I get what
but
you're saying, man.
it can be gifted. It can be given. I mean, I guess technically it could even be traded, but you cannot sell it. And I wouldn't want to also way it does everything legally and harvest everything under legal bounds, and more so than that, I've said it before, but like he's a really avid hunter, and he hunts a lot during deer season, which our deer season here, I know a lot of different other parts of the country have really tight restrictions on deer, but at least in the area where I'm at, and I know it sounds outrageous, but in the area where I'm at, the limit for doe, which bucks are a different story, and bucks because there's always going to be those trophy hunters out there and stuff, and so that's why bucks are more regulated. But I know some other states have like limited restrictions on doe as well. But here where
Yeah,
I'm at, my region, for all of hunting season, from opening bow season till the very end of deer season, the doe limit is 3 per day, which
yeah.
nobody will
I
three.
think a lot of times the doe limits is because those are more the ones that reproduce and they're able to carry on lineage better.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. And there's such a vast of deer around here that, and nobody kills 3 does per day. And if you did 3 does per day, I think hunting season goes over 100 days. It's somewhere over 100 days. So if you did the full limit and got the full limit every day for all of hunting season, that would be like 300 something deer. Like nobody would ever need that much. But my friend,
uh,
he does do something good with some of the deer that he harvests, and he does a lot of his and you can go check his channel out. It's Catman Outdoors. You can just and it's CATMAN Outdoors on YouTube, and you can go check him out and you can see his videos. He does very good videos, and he doesn't necessarily just glorize the like harvesting part of the deer or anything. He tries to give the whole experience of sitting out there, being connected with nature, and he has a great respect for everything. And one of the things that I like most about what he does with that is that sometimes he knows he's not going to be able to deal with that deer that day. He doesn't ever let anything go to waste. And there is an organization around that's called Hunters, and he donates probably 5 to 12 deer per year to Hunters for the Hungry. And there's multiple different places where you can take them and drop off the deer, and they'll process them and package up the meat and then donate it to people that are in need. And that's really awesome. So he gives back to the community as well as respecting the laws and everything behind it. He does a really good job about that, and that's something that's really
yeah,
cool. Not a lot of people go to that sort of effort as far as like doing it the right way, but he really does, and I have a lot of respect for what he does as far as that. I'm not a hunter myself. I would have a hard time with it, I think, honestly, just because that's just in my nature, and I would have a hard time with it. But I do respect the way that he does it, and I understand that it's part of life, and
yeah,
some people don't see it that way, and some people see it as being cruel. Whatever. But it's not like we are running deer into endangerment. We have more of a deer issue, I live in a suburban setting, and I see deer running through my yard sometimes. So it's not that people are being cruel and taking these animals. It's that there's no natural predators around, and they're kind of overpopulating, and the hunters are actually keeping the population under control so it doesn't explode into something more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that could use some population control, but
I got so much to say about that that I won't say it right now. Regarding our own race.
Yeah, well, when you got to think about it, what's some race, what's some beings on this planet comparable to? No, I'm just saying. But anyway, that's a whole different thing right there. Um, but yeah, nobody's trying to eradicate cockroaches. Nobody's trying to get rid of the rat problems. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish
Um,
somebody tried to work on the brown recluse problem because I've been dealing with those like crazy recently. Literally this morning, after I like went on a rant about brown recluses last night, I went and I like was moving my pillows around and I lifted up like I've got a couple pillows laying against the back of my bed and I moved the like last pillow and this brown recluse ran out and ran towards me on my bed. And I killed it, of course. But that's like 6 brown recluses I've killed on, in, or around my bed in like the past 4 days.
don't worry, you'll be fine, man. Just go ahead and lay on them.
Yeah. I mean, luckily they aren't like vicious spiders and they aren't out to get you, but
Well, yeah,
yeah,
that's the way most spiders are. They don't normally set out just to find a person to bite them. They just try to find an area to go chill at, and then what ends up happening is the person ends up disrupting it while it's there.
yeah,
So
and that's what I'm worried about. I don't want to like toss and turn during the night and like roll over on a brown recluse and have it get pissed and bit me.
yeah, because I mean that's not exactly their mission is to go out and try to find someone to bite, but yeah, they usually just try to find an area to go chill at. And what happens to be is that people end up helping providing a lot of space spots for them to do that. I mean, granted, we're not intentionally doing that either, but I mean, then where there's a lot. I mean, if you think about it, where are there a lot of spots to hide from? Under your bed, in your closet, or around a dresser or something. Because there's a lot of those spots they can just crawl into. But
I have a lot of hiding spots for them in my room too, because
um,
I've got things like in a disorganized slash organized but unorganized organized version of organized.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. But yeah, I know about that with the spiders and all that stuff. I mean, I deal with that in my garden a lot. I mean, I know there's spiders like hiding around in my plants a lot. There's been times where I'll find some big old spiders just chilling, and then there's been times where I'll look under the canopy of like habanero plants or something. And it'll just be a big old spider web. Like, dang it, I gotta get some peppers from there. And it'll be like one of those ones that build those little burrows and tunnels all in their webs and that.
Yeah, I love those. Those are called funnel spiders.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
the other night I was like looking by the head of my bed and down by the floorboard, there's like a little crack under the floorboard, and there was a funnel coming out, and the funnel spider was sitting there right at the opening of its funnel, like they do a lot. They'll just chill right outside the hole, and
yeah,
those I have around because they'll actually eradicate brown recluses and things. They go after stuff like that. But the brown
yeah,
recluses are my problem, and so I saw that funnel spider there, and I was like, good job. Like I just let that guy be because
yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
against.
I get what you're saying. I mean, there's a lot of spiders that I just leave be because I know they're out to get the other bugs. So I just like, as long as they're not bothering me, I won't bother them. I'll just let them be. So.
And I know a lot of people see a spider in their house and they freak out and they kill it. But if I see a wolf spider, a funnel spider, or something like that, I let them be because those are the ones that keep things like brown recluses in check. And I very much know what a brown recluse looks like. I know a lot of people see a brown spider and they're like, oh, it's a brown recluse. And they wolf spiders and funnel spiders, which to an untrained eye can appear to be similar, but they're very
Yeah,
much.
I mean, funnel spiders and brown spider. I mean, wolf spiders have particular looks to them. So
The
you know,
brown recluses have translucent legs, longer,
yeah,
skinnier legs, and they've got that defined little fiddle shape on their back, which you don't want to like get close enough to see that little fiddle shape. But they're more translucent overall, whereas
yeah,
and they aren't fuzzy. Whereas the funnel spiders and wolf spiders usually have a little bit of like fuzzy look to them. Their
yeah.
legs are,
That's where they get that wolf spider kind of name to them because they got that hairy wolfy kind of look to
and the funnel spiders too, and
them.
both of them, they may have long legs, but their legs are a little thicker. The brown recluses have thin legs and they're real quick, and you won't.
Yeah, they're quick and their legs are more like longer and
Yeah,
stuff. So
you won't see like a brown recluse sitting on a web like with a funnel or something. Brown
no,
recluses.
they just kind of wander about.
That's what I was gonna say. They don't make really webs like that. They make stringy little strands that
Yeah,
don't
kind
do.
of like those little runner strands they have everywhere. So if something tries to walk over it, it acts like a tripwire, then they go after it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and those are no fun. I've got those bad here. Ever since Charles jinxed me, I'm just gonna blame it on Charles because he isn't here. But Charles
yeah,
sent me
that's it.
to
Hashtag blame it on Charles.
yeah he sent me some link to some lady in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is like 15 minutes away from my house, and it was some lady like that had like a brown recluse problem in her house and stuff, and it made like national news. And then I was like, man, I've got brown recluses all over around here, but luckily I'm not like having any problem with in my house. But I think it has a lot to do with the hard winter we had last winter, because all of a sudden, ever since he said that, I've probably killed a dozen brown recluses in my house since Charles sent me that link. And before then, I maybe killed three brown recluses in my house over the entire time that I've lived here. But in a matter of weeks, I've killed like a dozen. And I don't just go around squashing spiders, but brown recluses, if anybody out there wants to freak out about me killing brown recluses, send me your address and I'll gladly jar them up and send them to you so that you can release them in your house.
They're
That's
like,
all I
hey,
got.
yeah, I'll send you an invite. Just come on over. You know, you can grab them yourself.
I'll jar them up and mail them to anybody that wants them. If they want to spare the life of a brown recluse, send me your address.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna keep squashing everyone I see. And even wolf spiders and funnel spiders, my rule has always been like they can be behind my bed, around my bed, in my room in certain areas. I won't bother them. But if you get in my bed, you're getting squashed. I don't care what kind of spider it is. Like when I start seeing them in my
uh,
bed, that's when
how about that? How
wow.
about like if you're like sleeping and then you just move your hand under your pillow and then you feel that little fuzziness tap your fingers? It's like,
Yeah.
get off my hand.
I don't know if you heard me talking about it the other night, but literally I was sitting on my bed like how I'm doing right now. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, but I was sitting like a couple feet to the side, and all of a sudden I felt something coming up the back of my neck, and I just like did this. I just grabbed and just swiped forward in front of me. And when I like did that and swiped forward, I looked down on the floor and it was a freaking brown recluse. I literally had a brown recluse crawl up my back and crawl onto the back of my neck. And I swiped it down on the floor. And that goes to show like how they aren't so vicious and they aren't just like out to bite people. But still, I don't like the fact that I had a brown recluse crawl up my neck. And
Yeah.
I that thing immediately on the spot.
Yeah.
And a lot of other spiders will like if you're trying to squash a brown recluse and it's running away really quickly, it's probably not a brown recluse. Like wolf spiders and funnel spiders and stuff, they're quick. Brown recluses are very quick too, but they do like how possums do, and they kind of play dead.
They'll just
And
kind of sit there for a second, but if they feel it is necessary, they will kind of get defensive. But
that's what I've noticed though about brown recluses is they kind of play dead. And this one, when I swiped it on the floor, it sat there, but then when I went to go get it, it like started to want to take off, but I squashed the crap out of it. I could see already it was a brown recluse, and so I squashed it. And uh, yeah, that's no fun to deal with. I hope nobody else is having that sort of issue of having brown recluses crawling up your neck because it's every night I go to sleep, I'm like going around my bed with a freaking flashlight, like where are they at? Where are they at? I know they're around, and I'll probably after
yeah,
talking about
hey,
them, I'm gonna have.
Rev wants to know. Rev wants to know. Did you swipe forward or left or right? Which one of the? He forgot the rules. So
It was four.
I think he's wondering if you swiped left or right.
I took my right hand and I swiped forward and to the right.
I think it was more of like a kind of like a thing
I
off
know.
Tinder or something.
Yeah, I know. But if it makes you feel better, Rev, I swiped and then I squashed.
Oh man.
But yeah, I guess I'm about ready to go on brown recluse for patrol and then get ready for bed because it's
All
late,
right.
12:30. It's a good time to call it quits, I think.
Yeah, yeah, because I still got a couple things to do before I lay down. So, knowing me, I'm probably still gonna be up around 4:30 or 5 anyway. So, we'll see.
I won't be up at 4:30 or 5, but I'll be up by like 7:30 or 8.
Yeah,
And I'll get up and replug dehydrators and get that rolling. And I need to probably harvest some stuff tomorrow and do some
yeah,
other things. I'm gonna try and if I can time maybe get out for a little bit. I haven't fished all.
yeah. No, but yeah, sometime within I'll try to get it out early in the week, but I'll try to send some your way. Try to get one of those funky yellow pods and some of those hops to you. You know, maybe I can get one of these pods to you,
That would be
and then
awesome.
some of those hops to your way. So
Yeah,
a good handful of so a good handful of those hops are starting to ripen up. So
and I'll definitely here before too long. I'll get a little something your way too. I just need to, especially. I really want you to try that one particular cross I was talking about.
yeah,
And, that plant, like I'm sure next time I go out there, it'll have some ripe pods. I'll just have to try and like gauge it. I may possibly go out there tomorrow, or I may try and hold out there Wednesday. So if I go out there Wednesday, I could try and do it because that's on the other side of town, and the post office is kind of in between. I can line able to like bring some stuff to put in there with me, and then go over there, pick some stuff, and then like fill a box and like drop it off at the post office on the way back, so it like goes out right away.
all right. As long as you can like
That way,
as long as you can identify which ones, you don't have to put a tag on them when you put them in the box, but if you can identify which is which, you know, if I have to send you pics of them whenever you do send
yeah, I
them,
mean, either do that or I can even just like take a piece of masking tape and put it around the stem and do it
yeah,
that.
whichever way works for you, man.
I'm not going to send you an unidentifiable box of pods and be like, "Oh, this is my confetti mix. Just enjoy."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I sent something to Dave Miner, I was able to, you know, identify which is what because I knew what I put in there. Some of them I couldn't put a tag on them because with the way the stems were. So, but I knew which was what. So he sent me pics, and I was able to tell what was what. I mean, yeah. All right, yeah. I'll just I don't know. I'll put some stuff together for you, man. Uh, you still there?
BD Beats. He said he only likes snakes and sparklers.
Oh,
That was a Joe Dirt reference.
oh, okay.
But yeah, everyone. I hope everybody has a good rest to your weekend and to maybe get some rest. I don't know what time it is everywhere else, but I know that it's getting late here, and even over on the West Coast, I guess it's getting close to that time to call it quits and start thinking about tomorrow. That's what I'm about to do. So everybody has a great Sunday and
All right, all
around
right,
later.
man. If you want, you can just tell them to go to your channel, whatever it is you want to tell them, stuff like that.
Well, my channel's kind of not really doing much anything right now because I've never
Or
uploaded anything. But
or
eventually,
even your Google Plus page, whatever it is you want to
yeah,
tell them.
I'm
So.
getting to that. Eventually, I will have some YouTube stuff going on. Until then, me, BD Beats, and Charles P have a show on Charles P's channel on Sunday nights at uh, 8 p.m. Eastern, or wait, 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, which I don't know what that equates to in West Coast time. I guess 5 p.m. West Coast. And that's about it as far as YouTube goes for me right now. And then anybody that wants to follow me on Google Plus, it's just Rob Blumberg. And I'm in the PLC Pepper Lovers community. I frequently post there. So if you're a member of the PLC, you can always look me up on there. And I'm there. And maybe at some point this season I'll have some stuff available on the Pepper Lovers marketplace. Maybe some powder blends or something. But for now, I'm just kind of doing my thing and growing my peppers. That's about it for me.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah. So guess we're going to call it a night, and then yeah. So we had Charles on here earlier. Be sure to check out Charles P on his YouTube and Google Plus, and yeah. So, and then be sure to check out Rob Blumberg. He was just telling about his page on the Google Plus and everything. And yeah, we're about to call it a night, guys. And we will chat at you soon. Remember to keep it spicy, you know? And yeah, so.
Anybody that wants to subscribe to me or be able to know what my name is and picture is, I posted a comment in the chat, so anybody can find me that way.
Be sure to check out Rob. He can probably send you a few pictures of some brown recluses too. No, but anyway, all right. Uh, I hope to see you guys continuing on with that little baby challenge of yours. See what everybody else thinks of it.
Yeah, I think there'll be some good lineup of people doing it tomorrow, which I think it kind of built up like all together. And there's going to be like a decent amount of people doing it tomorrow. And then I think Monday there's going to be another decent group of people doing it. And there were like another good handful of people that were going to do it like last night and stuff, but things didn't work out. And I think there's going to be some different other people that'll do different videos by themselves. I think Russ and Julian may be doing a video by themselves or maybe a stream at some point. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I know Kyle in Hawaii, Togarashi 808, he's doing a video. Um, then the Canadian group that I'm sending it to, maybe the Canadians might all get together and do a Canadian only live stream of it in 3 to 7 years when they receive it.
Yeah.
And I know tomorrow, I think tomorrow it's going to be me, BD, and Charles on our show with, I think, Gage, Rocky, Crazy Kimberlin, Shaping for Life, and Scott Tippett. And then I'd assume on Monday should be on RevToast TV, will be Rev, Rob Z, Dave from Grown at Home in West Virginia, and I'm not sure if there's anybody else that I'm missing on that one. But I think that that's like the next couple ones coming out. And then, like I said, Yaya is me. He'll do his with Julian, I guess, at some point. He was going to try to do it last night and get together with like you, Brando, and like whoever else was up for doing it. But I think that Julian ended up having something happen to where he wasn't able to do it last night. So that was why they ended up pulling out of that. And then there'll be some other different individuals doing it, like Aaron Double A. He'll be doing a video on it solo. Uh, as I said already, Togarashi 808 will do a video on it solo, and some other different people. I think J Herb is another, and a few other people. So be on the lookout. Lots more Bambi Challenge fun to come. And thanks again for having me on, Brando. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, no problem. You're welcome. You're welcome to come on anytime, man. And yeah, so like as I was saying, I'll try to have a box sent out to you of some spicy goodness. So,
Awesome. I'll be
oh
looking
yeah,
for that. I'll definitely return the favor of having a box of some spicy goodies headed your way before too long, too. I just
yeah,
have to play it by ear as to when because I really ideally would like to pick the peppers and send them immediately. That way it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. I know peppers ripen when they want to ripen. So
yeah.
I mean,
And I've
no
got,
matter no matter how how much you want a pepper to ripen, it just does it when it does it. So.
I've got a handful of different things that I particularly want, like those particular ones, to go into what I send you. So I'll try and coordinate that, which I haven't been picking anything recently, so I could play in my favor. And I might be able to do that Wednesday, but if not, it won't be much longer after, and I'll be able to put together a box at some point and send some stuff your way.
Yeah, that'd be
But I hope
cool,
you have
man.
a great evening, and thanks for coming and joining us.
Yeah, and everybody, thanks for watching. Ren's still in here kicking it on the stream or the chat, still talking. That's cool. And then BD was in here a minute ago too. And then Chris and everybody else in here in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks, Rob, again for being a part of this and everything. And I know it's been a long stream, so.
Everybody have a good evening.
Well,
And later, everyone.
all right, everybody. Guess we'll talk to you later. And peace out. Keep it spicy. Check y'all around.